We got details on our setup situation, but it's gonna be good.
Is going to be good.
All right. Okay, you know the deal. I'm a full screen nameless chat. Hide my camera. You're gonna hear his scream in a second. If you guys sub or resub, you guys know the fucking dealio slowly. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back in.
All right. This
I'm
last
at
thing
knock.
in. Yeah. You are on Warzone. Change your game. And
Yeah, the comms.
sir, we turn you all the way up. Max volume. Hey,
Max fucking volume.
how do you say volume? You say volume? Volume.
Yeah.
Uh
That's not like volume.
yeah, but in Chicago we say volume. Ben was just saying yesterday how this game is horrible and not great for competitive. Yeah, I mean Ben, he just changes daily. Like he knows in his heart.
No, it's not. Hold on. No, no. That's not the conversation I had with Damon yesterday. Damon and I were talking yesterday. The issue with this game, because I think the events have been good. I think the spawns in this game are bad. Like, and that's been a problem in most of the recent COD games. Yeah,
I don't think the spawns are too bad.
Especially Overload is bad though. Overload is like shit just happens.
Well, prior to the switch up in Split 2, the spawns in Overload were good, but they like changed them to negate the parking the bus thing, which it like kind of did, but it made the game flow a little bit shittier. But hardpoint spawns are good. But I would agree with that. Like Scar, when you spawn mid map, bad spawn. Den, like, you know, if you don't have the ball and then they spawn out, but then as soon as you pick up the ball, they're just spawning point blank. I think that's bad because it's to prevent something that's not happening that often at all. So I would say Ben's correct there, but that doesn't make the game bad, or bad competitively. It's just one aspect of one game mode that isn't ideal.
Yeah. So I'm ready whenever you are.
Are you guys ready? All right, guys, welcome to the CODCAST. It's going to be a great episode. This is the EWC episode. You guys are showing a lot of love on the champs ones. We appreciate that very much. And we got a couple more. We got this, obviously the post EWC episode, and then that'll conclude the season for the CODCAST. But we'll sprinkle in some special editions in the off season based on some massive news. Obviously, we'll probably do one when the beta comes out, and then when roster mania starts. Those will be announced on Twitter by Ben and I, and we'll be trying to get some special guests on as well during that time. But just so you guys know, we won't go full dormant after these next two episodes. We'll still have some content coming up. But Ben, I'm excited to chat with you today, dude. You know, I've been on full dad mode this week. The CODCAST is always a great opportunity for us to lock in and get ready for these events coming up. So how you been feeling? What have you been up to? And are you ready for this last event?
I mean, I've been good. I mean, we played golf last weekend. I played bad at Kyber. I played grid. Dude, I had a phenomenal back nine at Derby. I almost shot 38 back nine at Derby.
Where's Kyber?
It's by the Intel plant.
Oh, really?
You can literally see like all the cranes and the Intel plant that they're building out in New Albany is insanely big. But Kyber's like across the street from it. If you could hit the ball straighter, you would like the layout, but it's like
okay.
It's very hilly.
Listen,
we're gonna have to.
I've been playing all right. You know, I thought I'd just end on a W after playing Paiute. That was a good round for me. But I'll be back. I'm going to get some fall golf in, and then we got to get some Sunday nines in before football for sure.
Well, I mean, most courses won't let you play 9 on Sunday, but regardless, I mean, I've been good. I mean, we've just been, you know, I've just been kind of talking about EWC stuff, and we'll get into it. And you and I are seeing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
tonight. So excited for that.
Yeah, Chad, we're going on a date, dude. We're going to see Spidey. It's gonna be lit.
With me, you, Ethan's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Adam's coming.
Big Adam. Chat knows Adam. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah. I'm really excited. It got a 98%, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
Harry saw it. He said it was very good. So
the MCU's back, baby.
Harry's a hard man to impress when it comes to movies. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the MCU is apparently back. I hope so. I really hope so.
But yeah, no, and then the key thing is I'm going to Tom and I are now going to EWC. We were like pretty much planning on not going, and then EWC figured some stuff out. So we'll be out there. From what I know, there might be also a little bit of broadcast interaction maybe between me and Tommy and and Nameless. Yeah, we might be picking up some of the arguments we're gonna have on this show. Maybe
It's
on
gonna
the
be good.
broadcast.
It's gonna be
It
great,
might be
dude.
good.
Yeah, so
I'm just trying to. You'll figure that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so I'll be there as well. I don't know when you guys leave, but I leave on Sunday. They got us out there early, brother. It's a long event.
You gotta do media. You gotta do media probably Monday and Tuesday. We right now the plan is to leave Monday and arrive Tuesday. So that may change just because the setup. I think our setup's already set up, so I don't really need to do much. So that's good. Well, like I think you and I will definitely try and link on Tuesday when I get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's get some food or something.
It's just funny. It's just so. You know what's so funny about this, Ant? Is we've had years where like we were in Columbus a lot or Dallas a lot. Can you imagine me telling you a couple of years ago that we would spend like 2 out of like 5 weeks in a given summer in fucking Paris?
I know. And we've traveled so much. I feel like in the last like 3 years, we've done so many Boston, Toronto, New York, Florida events that are all like an hour and a half flight. And this year we've had, Birmingham, Paris, now Paris again. We've had some longer trips, and then obviously Riyadh last year. So it's been fun though. And I think that this is going to be normal going forward because the international events, especially obviously Birmingham and Paris, have just been electric, bro. Like they're just bigger than the events that we have out here in terms of the fans that want to go. So gotta get ready to get these miles and keep on traveling, Ben. We're going to be hopefully moving around and going to, some other countries and having some fun.
I'm in a great listen. Here's the thing: is I heard a dirty rumor I'm gonna be flying premium economy there. It's great Delta miles.
Yes,
great
it is.
I might hit gold this year, which will be a W, bro.
Let's go.
With all the travel, because like I'm trying to go down to Dallas. I do a New York trip this year in the off season. Gotta go out to LA, Florida. So like I might hit gold.
You got all those trips planned already?
No, I would plan as in like there's like Dallas. I want to go down because Crowder and I want to play golf. In Florida, I got to go visit my aunt. New York is already planned. I'm going to League of Legends finals a week before GTA comes out. So
listen, you guys. I'll tell you one thing. Ben doesn't have a kid because I cannot be flying around.
Yeah, you're cooked now, GG's.
Yeah, leaving for this 8 days is wild. All right, well, let's jump into some of the news, some of the topics we have. Why don't we? So there's been a rumor going around. Your boy Tomas on stream. This was on the Reddit. I knew nothing about. I mean, I heard the rumors about like I think it was Rafi and the Ome guys coming in to manage the Boston situation because I guess they didn't have a big staff. And I guess that was like leading towards them just kind of like surviving until somebody bought.
The Omid thing was not. I don't think the Omid thing was real.
Oh, okay.
I think I don't know. But keep going. I'll tell you what's real and what's not.
Okay. Well, I know they didn't buy it. I just remember there were some rumors about them reaching out to other people to like manage the team for like a couple months until they could eventually sell, I guess. Yeah. So anyways, if that was true or not, that just told me in my head like it was leading towards a potential sale of Boston. And so this is Rafi, who was involved in that news that I was talking about 4 or 5 months ago, talking with Tom on stream. Here we go about Boston breach.
No, you.
No, I was gonna say, and then that's all I heard, right? That the spot, I know the interest was there of Boston selling, and I know there were some people trying to get in and trying to take that spot, but I don't know who actually got that spot and if it's actually been sold. And if it's actually been sold and somebody did get that spot, well, then I'd love to know who it is, and then I'd love to have him on. I mean,
it'll come out very soon.
It'll come
very,
out.
very soon.
I was gonna say, Tom. I don't know if you saw my poke, but
it'll come out very soon. Just know that Ronnie wasn't too far off. I think half of his article was right, and half of it was wrong.
Gersh poked me. I actually don't know. Like, Gersh, yeah, he's just poking me on TeamSpeak.
I'm gonna text you.
All right, so there's the clip, and then I'm gonna pull this up. If you guys give me 1 second, from the script. This apparently somebody just linked in the chat. Ben, this is the teams or the org that's picking up Boston. Ghost of Hope. So this guy's a notorious Call of Duty leaker, and he posted this. Sources: M80 and For Fun Esports are the two teams that I've heard that are in the running to take over Boston Breach's spot in the Call of Duty League going into next year with MW4. Some sources have indicated one of them has already paid the $1 million buyout to breach and has taken the spot, but it is unclear which one it is at the moment. All right, the floor is yours, man.
So Boston selling has been a rumor for a number of years. Same with Carolina, same with Vancouver. And I will say, and Taylor Miller just tweeted it, that I don't think that Boston will be potentially the only team that may change ownership hands this year. And I think we'll get real leaks, like real confirmed releases on this at some point next few weeks. But there was a lot of steam around this Boston thing for a while this year. It seemed like this is the year that was going to happen. The part for me that's a bit confusing is the two orgs that are linked here. I don't quite understand for both of them how they can come in and make a business out of being in COD. Because if you're not a legacy org, an OpTic, a FaZe, or a Thieves, you need to have some other angle that will drive revenue, because MTX is very lucrative. I had a great conversation with Paul Hamilton, shout out Paul, and Kason a couple weeks ago when we were, in Vegas for them winning champs. And like FaZe is doing a good job. They go hard on the MTX, and they obviously have a legacy brand. And
they're still the top selling skin, no?
Yeah, they made a lot of money off of the MTX this year. I'll just say that it was good funds. Very good funds.
They're up there.
But like if you're not like, if you don't have a big pull, you're just a mid-tier org, I don't know if that path's available to you. Sponsors and partnerships in esports are already hard to get. Merch is hard to spin up. So like you pay this upfront fee to get in of $1 million, which is what's rumored, and then you're going to spend another. I mean, it depends on how competitive you want your team. If you want to win, you're probably spending like close to $1 million.
Another $1 million, yeah.
So before we even hire staff, before we even talk about Teeny, you're already $2 million in the hole that you're chasing tail on. I don't quite get if you're at this point, unless you're an established massive NA brand, you can use your behemoth, or you're a Falcons, or you're a Gentlemates, where you're bringing in a non-endemic audience, a non-English speaking audience you can market to. I don't quite understand acquiring a spot for $1 million. It seems like too much to me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from. Call of Duty, I mean, you're right. It's just different than other esports. Like, people that have come from the scene and built orgs have had a lot of success, or just people with huge brands, because Call of Duty fans just seem to gravitate more towards personalities than winning. Then like the winning feels secondary sometimes for some of the fans. But I wouldn't say it's impossible. I remember when Ultra first came in, they built a pretty solid fan base, like the first 2 years. So I wouldn't say it's impossible. But either way, I would say it's kind of a W for getting a new team in for Boston. Like Boston kind of just went dormant, stopped doing stuff. What can you tell me about for fun esports, man?
Well, so they were a newish org. They were in Challengers this year. They exited Challengers, but they're not there's not an established brand. They don't have you know what I'm saying? They're one of these esports orgs that's just kind of started up, and do they have the legs to be a mature business? I just don't know.
Yeah, how are they dropping $1 million on a team? They don't even have a website. Yeah, they do.
So this is my thing. It's like, look, if you're someone who your business is based in Spain or France or the MENA or South America or Eastern Europe, Western Europe, non-English speaking and angles there, I see getting into COD. It can be worth spending $1 million for the spot, because you can bring in your audience, get growth, go to regions that haven't really matured when it comes to COD, and there's money to be made there. But if you're just a run-of-the-mill NA situation, I just think it's too busy. I think OpTic, Thieves, and FaZe kind of have that market cornered.
I don't know if I 100% agree with that. Look at what, and everybody has their own thing, but even Bush, they're building a pretty big brand. Obviously, they have the Barstool behind them, right? But it's not straight up impossible. It is difficult, but it's not impossible. But I definitely hear what you're saying. What are you locked in on right now? You guys see this guy?
Sorry, I'm dealing with the EWC stuff. You're good, but I Bush is different, because Bush is an extension of the Barstool cinematic universe, and they are an outlier because they have this legion of they have a lot of different demos, but to the Bush, like they have this legion of like college kids to like 30 somethings.
Yes, they do.
That are big sports fans. And like some of those people used to play COD and they don't play COD anymore, but they kind of care about COD stuff. They love bullshit drama. So like Bush is a unique part of the aspect, but you're run of the mill tier 2 NA esports org. I just don't see how it's a smart business decision. I just don't see how you're going to compete with the big dogs, build a championship team, build a brand that people care about, sell good skins, be able to mature the business and not sit there and have a massive burn rate and you're like,
yeah, it's a big challenge.
This multi-million-dollar hole.
It's a big challenge for sure. You're competing with some huge orgs that have been here for a while that are already selling a ton of MTX and talking about players. Like, unless you're throwing around big bags, you're not going to get great players off the rip. I'm never going to knock a team for coming into COD because I do think COD has still a lot of room for growth. So if they're betting on COD to go nuclear, then hey, more power to them. I think it's definitely possible. But all right, let's move on from that. So Boston's selling their spot. We'll see who comes in. Apparently, the M80 organization liked that tweet, by the way, for the forefront of the M80. So
I'm sure someone's gonna find like their new trademark and whatever. Well, from my understanding, people I said in the beginning, it's maybe more than one team making an ownership change. It's gonna come out very soon. I don't know if it's come out before EWC. It will certainly come out after EWC when roster mania is happening. So
they have
they're not gonna have to wait that long.
They have 5 teams: CS, Val, Rainbow, Rocket League. Is their team good in any of these games? They good at Val, Rocket League?
I think they're like their CS team has been like mid-pack NA or mid-pack NA. I don't know much about the other esports, but again, they're maybe are like a mid-tier NA org. You know what I'm saying? Like they're building a business, but it's like it's tough. They're just competing in a crowded market. And look, if it was a free spot, I'd feel differently. But paying a mill to get in when you're in that position, I don't know. I think it's very.
Well, we don't know how it's structured, like for them paying. Like maybe they paid over time as well, and it's like comes from the MTX that they sell as time goes on. Who knows? But yeah, more power to them. We welcome new orgs into COD. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about EWC though. We'll talk about this stuff as more comes out and unravels when it's more official. But for now, let's talk about what's coming up. So this weekend is the LCQ. It is going to be streamed now, which is a W. There was an uproar. I couldn't believe that it wasn't going to be streamed at first, which is wild. And these are all the teams that have signed up so far. I think they have 28 teams. One team will fill out that final spot. Then I had the LCQ COD Wiki up. Let me pull it up again real quick. Ben, who would you say are the favorites going into this in your mind? Obviously, the Bush. They have a couple of Huntsman players.
I don't know if Bush's favorites, bro. I've been watching the Bush team recently. This comp they have, and it's a bit of an awkward team. Watching them play coming in, I'm not like super. I'm not super confident that they're like. I'm not super confident that they're like going to be one of the favorites for this thing. I think it's very likely potentially going to be one of the European teams, like the Taines team or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough to find a list, but like,
we don't have a list yet, unfortunately.
I just don't know. Like,
listen, crazy shit's going to happen in this. Only one team comes through.
Only one team. So don't be surprised if it's like one of the UK teams that get it, just because with the jet lag and being able to practice and having more continuity with their teams, like I have a feeling that they may be one of those squads that qualifies in, and then they would play FaZe first round in Group A.
Yep. All right. So yeah, I guess we'll segue from there because we didn't even have all the list of full rosters yet. So let's talk about the groups then. So different format at EWC than what we usually have. Obviously we have 4 challengers teams, and you know they've been getting better and better at the Pro-Am. You know, we had some gruelers, some game 5s. Beans can't escape the final game losses in these search and destroys.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's had some just heartbreakers from potential insanely good year to just unlucky. But find themselves here again. And in this one, in Group A, FaZe's side, you could say pretty much a breeze for them. You know, they're going to get the worst challenger team. And then, you know, Koi or Roy Ravens, Koi Insights tweeting out GIFs of like his last ride into the sunset. Ravens got Knox, and they haven't looked too good. So I think FaZe are good there. It can get interesting down here. Obviously, you have this Omit team who's, Ethan is like next up. I got to watch him, firsthand at this last event.
Gross.
Bro, guys, like, I know a decent amount of you guys have been watching Challengers. This kid, I was watching firsthand, is unbelievable, bro. Ethan is, in my opinion, he is next up for sure, a shoo-in to get picked up. So we have on here, like, how important is this event for Ethan? In my mind, yeah, if he's actually that good and he's next up like that, which I believe he is, needs to cause an upset here and has opportunities, right? Like, you're going to be going up against Gentlemates. They're a top team, a top 4 squad, but they're not like the unbeatable like the FaZe or the OpTic right now, right? So as you have potential there. And then G2, if Gentlemates beat them, you go down, you play them to advance. That's a possible win as well. So I think Omit have a good chance here. I think that team is solid across all the modes from what I've seen. And Ethan is a special talent. What are your thoughts on Omit and their chances to make it out? If we were going into an Omit versus G2 match right now, I'd say 60-40 G2. Legit. That's what I would say.
So a couple of things. So we should explain, like, the group stage front for this thing is a little bit interesting. So as you're showing their screen here, it's not GSL groups. So the way it works is that every group is split into 2 pods. There's an that's the upper bracket, and then there's the lower bracket, which is a crossover. So let me explain. So the way it works is the upper bracket, you basically would play 2 games. So if you win your first game, you play the winner of the other side, and then whoever wins that's first seed in the pod. If you lose that game, then you advance to the crossover. If you lose your first game, then you play the other team in your pod that lost. So, for example, looking at it right now, FaZe plays the LCQ team, Toronto plays Carolina. We expect Toronto and FaZe to probably win. So that means the LCQ team and Carolina would play. The winner would advance on to stay in the group. The loser is eliminated. And then the way that the last 2 spots determine each group, right? Because there's 2 teams that go 2-0. So how the 2-1 teams determine? The team that won and then lost would cross over and play the team that lost and won from the other side of the pod. So
they would be Omit technically in this situation, if everything goes according to the favorites winning, they would end up playing like Ravens or Koi or whoever loses between Ravens and Koi. So let's say Ravens, and then the winner between them and the team that loses to FaZe, right? Which is winnable, like super winnable.
I think they're probably playing Toronto, because I expect Toronto to be Carolina and then probably lose. And then so G2, I think Omit's gonna have a tough time against Mates that first match. Just, home crowd, like, that's tough. And Mates are a good team, but I think they can definitely handle anyone on the other side of that bottom of the group. They're good.
Yeah.
And then Benno, I think, will have them fired up to beat Toronto. I think they can definitely get out. I think it's doable.
It's so doable.
But it's gonna come down to just making sure that those series are going 5, bro. They got to make sure that they execute an S&D at the end of those series, because I think at Respawn, they're going to be able to hold their own against most of these squads. It's just not, because their team kind of did it a little bit at the major 3, just not shitting bricks.
I mean, dude, in the last game, well, one, they had that series wrapped up in a box. It should not have went all the way to the end. But it ended up
about the Challengers finals.
Yes.
Yeah.
It goes all the way to the end. You're right. They were shitting bricks, but they calmed down. I will say though, I think if that's Ethan who just rated you and he's in here, he ran it the hell down 5-5 and got blooded. And I was like, oh no, this is literally GG. But Beans got ripped for the 2-piece. So
but listen, I'll say this about Ethan. Ethan is not going to end up. My prediction for Ethan is he's not ending up on some dog shit team next year.
No, he's getting picked up.
I think a Thieves or a Mates or like a Toronto, like a really good top 6 org is going to see this kid as like the next great AR and is going to pick that kid up. And like Omit will make a lot of money off of that. I see what Rafi's kind of doing. He's out here. He's saying people are not waiting to try and get this. Like, he's just trying to drum up. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to get a bidding war going. But Ethan is so talented. He can run AR. He can run a sub. I think there's a lot to like about Ethan. There's a lot to like about DK. I think he's for sure gonna win the league.
What he said in chat, Koi is the obvious one. Like, if they're trying to make some moves, to me, they're obvious one. I mean, it's if we're really going to dive into the offseason talk, we'll have plenty of episodes to talk about this when WrestleMania starts. But like, there's a few people, right? Like Lurks is obviously a huge option. If they're asking for a lot for him, then you just instantly move and default to Ethan, right? Like right away. It's like it's comparable skill, and I can just get him for probably less. So Carolina's gonna have to come down on that price. And then like I would say Koi's a pretty desirable location if they're going into it with a team of two of like Kips and Kleenex, right? So if you're Ethan and like an offer's on the table there, you like go. But I could see, I know Kremp might be free coming up too. So there's some top SMGs that will be available. Kremp, Lurks obviously for a price, and then Ethan for a price.
I think all three is fucked.
All three of those guys.
Lurks is locked. I think barring them selling Lurks for something less than 6 figures, I think Lurks is gonna end up playing with AG or Nep on Carolina. That's how that's gonna probably play out. I think DK and Ethan
go to top free. Teams. I thought Kremp was expiring. I could be wrong.
No, I'm talking about Lurks. Kremp.
No, somebody.
Kremp I think will get sold. Kremp will get sold. I think GT will cash out on Kyle. I see Kyle going to like. Listen, we'll have more offseason conversations. Thieves are going to be a big player for one or two of these prospects. If they're smart, Thieves is going to reload in a way they did a couple of years ago, and they're going to be big chilling going into next year. Even if they lose Scrap and Pogba.
Honestly, it's a fine year to, even if you lose those guys, to kind of rebuild, and Thieves have done well with that. But this is an episode to talk about that. So, all right, that's Group A.
20 episodes.
Yeah, so that's Group A. We'll jump into Group B, War, which I believe is Flames.
Well, we haven't really hold on. Go back to Group A. Okay, so do we want to back up before we really dive in this? We got to really talk about some of the wrinkles in this tournament because there's a couple that we should talk about.
Oh yeah, let's do that first.
Yeah. So map pool. Mm-hmm. So a big map pool thing is frequency, which we saw played all season in Black Ops 4. Fucking W map. It's coming in a hard point for Colossus. From my understanding, that the pros love the map so far. It's the same rotations as it was on the old hard point. And have you played or watched Frequency hard point at all?
I haven't gotten a chance to yet. Been in dad mode, but I will say Frequency. We talked about it a bit with the devs at the last event. How excited they are for it. At first, they didn't think we were going to be able to add it in time, but they pushed for it. So shout out to Lawrence, trying to get them to add it. And EWC at first was initially like against adding a new map, but then they ended up folding and putting it in, which is a W. And I think it's gonna be great. Without abilities, I think it's gonna play even better. Obviously, I'll have to play and watch it a little bit first before we get there, but I think it's gonna be awesome, bro. Like it just has a good cadence to it. It's still mixy. It has good, like the hills are like simple enough, but there's complexity to it where like you can still push up mid map and fry. It'll just all depend on how the spawns play out this time around. They were really consistent back then. We'll have to take a look and see. But either way, I think it's just nice to have new elements to this tournament. Like throughout this year, and we're going to talk about this in the offseason as well, one of my favorite things that happened this year was adding maps in and out. After split 2, bringing in maps and bringing in guns. I think we need changes in between every split and before every key tournament. Obviously, when you go into the final split before champs, you want a consistent meta from there until champs, but I do think we should change it up after champs every year. At least one small element going into EWC and 1 or 2 things in between each stage, like stage 1, stage 2, and into stage 3, because it was fun. The plaza, even though a lot of people disliked it, was fun as hell for a split. Some teams adapted and quickly.
Plaza fucking sucked.
But it was fun though. It was.
Everybody hated playing it. Now don't.
No, Plaza. No, I'm not spreading prop. This is. And I talked to Spence and talked to some other people. It's good for the esport. And even when Plaza came in, some teams figured it out pretty quick. So I think we continue to do this, honestly. I really do.
Here's what I'll say about frequency. I talked to 2 different pros who played it recently. With no abilities, it is like the way 2 of the hills are essentially in the middle of the map on the outside lanes. So you can pick either side and hold it, but you need to pick a side. Like you do not want to make those hills mixy because it's just.
No, you can hold those from the front. You can hold those from the front easy, bro.
Well, I'm getting the front. I'm getting the front back thing. But like P1 and P4 are all like middle map hills. If you get flushed out, you can play the middle of the map, but then like you're out of the hill. You need to make sure you're all holding aside and not getting collapsed on. Because this isn't like You don't have stem. It's just a lot of tools you didn't have last game.
Yeah, but Ben, you can horizontal snake, so it's like if you're in the turbine, you can just strafe left and right with a trophy. It's similar.
But the gap in this map, from what I've been told, and how teams are going to get probably fucked and like give up a huge lead early, is knowing like you did back in the day on P2, and more importantly, I think P3, knowing when to hold and give up the back on those hills. Because there are choke points, there are tight hallways, and you can't hold it from the front with the cutoff, and it sets you up for rotations to new. So if a team is, a team's going to pinch with 30 seconds left and make a big fucking mistake and flip themselves out, knowing, like we always talk about in COD, knowing to play Titan Hill, let them get that pinch, we hold the front, we're set up for new, knowing the balance of how to play the spawns is going to be really key. We may see a lot of teams not want to play the map, but I think the top teams are trying to master it quickly because they see it as a massive advantage if they get it controlled.
I mean, I will say the map's not massive. You're going to get plenty of opportunities to break. So obviously rotation is important, but like how massively important is it going to be without abilities now? I'm not sure. So we'll see. And like I said, holding a lot of hills you can hold from front. So I have to watch it in this game and how it plays out, but I imagine it's going to be a bang out. I imagine
the other thing I heard is that there are some decent nade lineups. Trophy placement and managing your trophies are going to be really big because like it did back in the day when you were holding fucking P2 or P3, you can get stunned to hell in the corners on those hills.
Good luck pushing through turbine on Dashy pre-aiming out. Like, have fun.
That's the thing. The windows and like flush people out the windows. It's unfortunate this map didn't come in earlier because I think it would have been great to have had a couple splits ago. But like it actually, from talking to some pros, they preferred out of the bang out that is Colossus. Like there's a lot of thinking that goes on this map, and you can, again, bad teamwork, you're going to get pummeled early on this map and be trying to break to the front, and it is that ability is not as easy in this game.
I don't think streaks will be that good on this map either, honestly. We'll see though. I don't know. All right, so those are and then coaches on stage. That's big. Absolute W. I think coaches should always be on the stage. I know there's a worry about, I don't even know what the main concern is. Worry about them turning around, looking at the screen, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, there's no concern. What happened last year, I talked to TDL directly. Look, what happened is that the league said after EWC, hey, do you guys have feedback on the coaches on stage? And nobody gave them feedback. Legitimate.
Oh, I remember when they said that. Yeah, that was political.
So like, from my understanding on Activision's position, I don't think they feel strongly about it because the upside of the content they can create, just like the value that the coaches on stage thing has for them from a marketing standpoint, like there's value there. But like they'll defer to the teams and players and the orgs on how they want to handle it. So like that's the key thing. We're doing it again. I agree with you. It should always be a thing. I think the rules they have for this where you can only talk in between rounds in S&D. And I guess you can talk min-map in respawn, which I'm fine with. If the teams want it, they can get it in the CDL.
Yeah, they just have to push for it.
Got to give the feedback they want it. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's not like fuck this, you know.
The coaches need to like implore their team to make a request for it as well. But I think that it's going to be huge for some of these players, and particularly the challenger guys. You think of Vance being up there, that's going to be awesome. Getting them ready for these big time matches. But it was a great element last year. Super fun. And I think that's something that makes EWC kind of unique. But I would love to see that at our majors, bro. Could you imagine in some of these like late Saturday games or going into the final, seeing Damon up there just locking the guys in? It'd be incredible. Like you said, it's a huge like marketing opportunity for CDL too. So I'm sure they would like it. We just need these teams to ask for it. But yeah, that's a W. That's
one thing for y'all on the broadcast, and we'll probably do it on the watch parties too, is just every time you're getting someone on the couch, we'll give a thoughtful answer, like really picking their brain on that topic. And like, keeping that discussion going of like.
We did it so much last year and they all loved it. Every player that came on, we asked them like, how is it having, so-and-so up there? They're just like, it's amazing. Like, it's great. Locking us in, like talking about, because they can see all the POVs, right? And if you have an ex-pro who's won up there with you, like they're just going to see stuff that maybe you guys may have not seen, which is invaluable right after the map or in the moment, right? Or he can just shut down an argument or a disagreement immediately. It's just massive. And it's like how you practice how you play. That's exactly what it's like in practice for these guys. So yeah. They got to push for it.
The last wrinkle is a weird one, very super weird one. So, Ant has the groups on screen.
Yes.
This is not a traditional event where, okay, if you win your group, you play the second team from the other group. The way it works, because I've seen the rules, and CDL Intel tweeted, so you can find the CDL Intel tweet if you want.
Got you.
They had the actual tweet from the book. The the 4 teams that go 2-0 in the groups are going to be seeded 1 through 4. And basically, if someone goes 3-0 and 3-0, right? They go 2-0 and they win 6 straight maps. You're probably going to be the first seed. And what you'll be able to do is pick your opponent of any team in the other group.
This is crazy.
Any team. It could be the winner of that group, by the way. You don't have to pick whatever.
All right, here. Let me read out the clause for audio listeners. All right, so there are a total of 8 teams advancing to the playoffs. So after group play, there'll be 8 teams left in the EWC. 4 teams advancing through the upper bracket of their respective groups. So if you do not lose in group play, and then 4 teams will be advanced to the lower bracket. The 4 UB teams, upper bracket teams, will be ranked 1st to 4th based on the following factors: game, win-loss difference in all matches played, win quality quotient, where the win quality quotient,
because we're multiplying by potentially 0 there. So
yeah, so basically how much you won by, right? And then if any of them are still tied, the final rankings will be decided by coin toss. The highest ranked team of each group will receive the right to select which opponent they will face in the quarterfinals. That is crazy. Teams may only choose LB teams of the opposite group. If the highest ranked team is in Group A, they may choose to play against one of the Group B LB teams. The remaining 2 upper bracket teams.
So you can only choose loser bracket. Interesting. They changed it from last time.
But imagine a team like underperforms. Like, let's say Gentlemates make it out weird, and then OpTic are like, you know what? Fuck it, run it. They won't do that.
Yeah.
But like, I just think that that's so fascinating. Like this element to it. It's spicy. It's something to talk about. And it's it's given you a real reason to like go hard as shit in group play, right?
Well, from my understanding, Ant, is going to be Friday night. After the final group stage game, is going to be a draw show.
Yeah,
you're going to have players up there, and this can. I'm sure you'll be intimately involved in that. There'll be some banter.
Do you remember in World War II? I was freshly retired. EG had dropped me, and I did the draw out of the. I don't remember what this
you,
is. Like
you love the draw for champs.
I loved it. I wanted to match EG up with OpTic so bad. Not rigged. Luck of the draw. Matched them up too. And then we all know what happened from there. So if OpTic fans wanna go back on that one, I was part of the reason. Right. Sorry to you guys. But yeah, this is gonna be amazing content.
It will be a little bit crazy because there's always upsets in this format. So the last 2 years has been a weird team. It doesn't go 2-0 that we expected. So I like this. You know me. I've been a big fan of wanting to do this choose your opponent thing for playoffs. It's going to be great. And then a reminder on the playoffs format: single limb, 8 teams, best of 7.
Best of 7s for every match, chat.
Every match, including a 3rd place decider, and finals will be a best of 9.
This can be the longest event of the year. Every group plays best of 5. They got us working. Let me tell you, Ben.
The schedule is I mean, you can Turtle tweet out the schedule. We're gonna be I'm bringing in some great stream hours, and then I think we're doing the flank after too, it seems like. So I might be
Turtle tweeted it out.
I might not be hitting the Aperol spritzes and beers until like midnight every night.
Dude, I'm gonna be in the blender, bro. But it's gonna be a great time. I'm very excited. I always have a lot of fun at EWC. It is a lot of work. And then here's Turtle. We love Turtle in this podcast. He's got the full schedule right here. So I'm gonna have A and B for group play. I think we're gonna have 2 streams though, Ben. So
here's what's explained to me. Day 1 is all main stage because they want to make sure that every team at least plays a main stage match.
I heard we had 2 stages. Pretty sure
we have 2 stages on day 2, I believe.
If you can explain this to them, please. I gotta walk for.
This is what was explained to me. It could change, but from my understanding, day 1 is all 1 station. Day 2 is 2 stations. And I think every other day is 1 station again, because they want to make sure that like every team can play in front of that crowd. So as you can see by what's on screen and for audio listeners, like day 1, there's 6 games, long day. Day 2 is going to also be like 6 match windows. So like we're going to be like, these are going to be, if you're East Coast, like this is starting at like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., going to like 4, 5. And then local for us, I think we start at 3
Wait, what did you
local and it
just
goes
say?
to like, well, saying for us local, I think it starts at 3.
Yeah.
And then gonna go to like maybe 10. So it'll be like 7, 8 hours. But I think it'll go longer because we all know there'll be delays, and
Yes.
I'm sure people will cry baby cheese about their PCs and SSDs and whatever.
We're finishing at midnight, bro. Day 1, we're finishing at like midnight. I promise you.
Well, my only thing with the schedule is they're putting an hour and 15 for each match.
Yeah, we
It's
talked about this.
optimistic.
Yeah, no, that's extremely
That's
optimistic.
optimistic.
No, these are going to be some of the longest days for sure, but it'll all be worth it because it's going to be a lot of fun, and we get to work on Call of Duty, so it's fantastic. We are not complaining. But yeah, this is a lot of COD, guys. Make sure you guys are locked in. And then, like Ben said, I'm pretty sure we have 2 stages. So I don't know what he's talking about with the day 1 thing, but day 2.
Day one is 1 stage. Day 2 is 2 stages. Day 3 is 1 stage. 4 is 1 stage. 5 is 1 stage. I think, because what was explained to me, obviously shit can change, but
Bruh, 4 best of 7s is wild. Back to back to back to back. That's gonna be.
we had that before. The last time we had that was X Games Black Ops 3.
I competed in that. I don't even remember.
X Games Black Ops 3 is the last time I can remember. No, I think we had best of 7s. Yeah, no, that'd be the last time.
I don't think we played. Did we play best of
actually,
7s?
No,
We didn't even have
they
an
played
X Games in BO3. It was AW.
Oh yeah, it was AW. No, Black Ops 3 had best of 7s at the stage finals. I think we're best of 7s.
Yeah, we did have best of 7s there. You're right, because I played.
I don't think there were
OpTic.
4 in one day.
I beat OpTic in
night.
game 7. 6 first
Yeah.
bloods. I'll never forget that. All right. Okay, so that is the groups and the schedule.
Well, we gotta go back to the groups. So
yeah,
like
Group B,
we gotta do our. So I sent you the tools. You can use the tools link.
Hold
if
on,
you
let's
wanna
highlight
do-
Group B first, and then we'll do the tools. So I believe this to be the stronger group, in my opinion. You obviously have the P7 squad that's been solid. Falcons, the new and improved. And then Vancouver Surge, who, they're not pushovers, and they started to improve a little bit with their roster change. And I know Craze, he's been putting in a ton of work. Mamba's hungry, and this was the best tournament that we had seen from them. This is where they kind of burst onto the scene and played well, and that caused that FaZe upset, remember? So definitely possible for them to beat the Heretics. And then we got Boston, who not a good team, but started to win a bit more in the final stage, Ben. And then Timor, Flames and the boys, and then OpTic, and LAT, or 100 Thieves here. So we might get an early Thieves versus OpTic, which would be interesting. And then I think this bottom area is the more interesting side, just because Heretic Surge, I give the edge to Heretics, but if Surge won, would I be surprised? Would you be surprised? I would say probably not. And then Falcons and P7, depending on the Falcons that we see, if we see the one from Champs, they'll breeze through it. But these guys just like to go game 7, bro, or game 5. Project Notorious. This is how they are. So there could be some fireworks there. I think Group B is actually got some compelling storylines in it. And it could be a lot of fun. What are your thoughts on Group B? Just 3,000 foot view.
Group B, Falcons, OpTic, and Thieves should get out. But I got to be honest, everyone else has a legitimate chance to be that 4th team.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think this is the stronger side because, like, I could see it breaking for Vancouver. I could also see it breaking for Boston. Timor and Project Notorious are also good, and like, I think they have a chance against weak Miami and Vancouver.
Wait a
and on
minute.
the flip side for War, like, Boston slaying is not that good. So like, I can
Wait a minute.
I could see. I think nobody on that side is like, yeah, they're 100% not going to do it. I think everybody can factor into maybe getting that last.
Yeah,
spot.
I was about to say,
fun.
Ben. Sorry to cut you off. I was about to say, Boston, when they made the roster change, they were having some gruelers. Remember, they got better initially, and they played Thieves. They went to that game 5. If Scrap hasn't shaken off whatever mental block he had at Champs, I'm not saying that they're gonna win. I'm just saying it could be a little bit more exciting than what people were predicting. Yeah, for some reason I remember this game. I don't know if this was in the minor, whenever this was, but it was a good match. Purge was popping take.
I don't know. Here's the problem, man, is we have not seen some of these teams like a Vancouver or Boston play in like a month.
Well, that's what we're here for.
It's gonna
Man.
be
We're here
over.
to
It's
remind
gonna be
people.
over a month since the last time we've seen those teams play.
So we're here to remind people what they were doing. And Boston got a lot better. This is what they were doing at the end. Some losses here and there, but this was the Major 4 qualifier. They had beat Surge 3-2, beat C9. They went to a Game 5.
I don't give a fuck about online before Major 4. Though.
I'm just saying.
The event. It also OpTic in Toronto and they beat Vancouver in a Game 5. Not impressive to me.
Okay,
You're saying oh, Boston got better? No. The problem with Boston is this, bro. Tej and Purge are the weakest one of the weakest sub duos at this tournament. And this team is going to be relying on Afro just absolutely Kentucky frying in like every series he plays. Otherwise, they are fucking cooked.
Yeah, just praying they get Scar because that's his best map. Or Hacienda for Purge. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm just saying they're not as god awful as some people may think. They were competitive towards the end.
They need Black Ops 4 Tej on frequency, bro. That's what they need.
Yeah, they do actually. They need the grab slam Tej, bro. Was he grapple? He might have been grapple. Either way.
Was he who was grapple for them?
Damon was for a while. And then
when they won, was Damon grapple? I think he was.
I think he was. And then they were having a battle all year of who's going to run the slam, who's going to run the grapple. It was hilarious. But yeah, all right. So I agree though. I think Thieves, OpTic, and Falcons should all make it out, and that last spot's up for grabs. So just a nice degree of like
clusterfuck. Literally anyone can make the case. Like Miami should be favored, but like they didn't look good at champs. Vancouver and Boston have concerns, and the two amateur teams in War and P7 are like good. So I think looking at your thing, like if we want to, you can click and make the prediction. So I think we both think the 2-2-0 teams on A side are probably Gentlemates and FaZe.
Yes, Gentlemates FaZe. I think the G2 Gentlemates series could be really good, but Gentlemates are on home turf. I think they just get it done. And then, wait, how do we do this? So we go
you're gonna click on the two teams that go 2-1.
Okay, so you think G2? See, it's hard to pick here though. Like, we think G2 make it out.
G2 will beat C9, lose to Gentlemates, and then play either Carolina or whoever the fuck's through the LCQ.
Yeah, so they're gonna advance.
I would favor G2 over Carolina. We don't know the LCQ team, but it'd probably be Euros, so I would say G2.
Win. And then Omit EU, I actually like here.
I'm down to pick an upset, so let's pick Omit EU. I'm fucking down.
Yeah, I like them.
Toronto could be really interesting in this. I don't want to super discount Toronto, but
I don't know. Insights tweet, bro. Let me pull it up.
I don't know.
Pull this up.
I feel like we need to pick one amateur team to get out, and I think Omit EU feels like to me the one. So
hold up. Give me 1 second, chat. This is like either he's gonna pop take or he's gonna have a 0.5. It's the only two things about this. Yeah, I mean, this is just too sad for me, bro. It's too sad for me. It's the end. It's kind of what he's signifying here. So I don't know. We'll see from him. Where's the tool?
Yeah, but you know how it is. Sometimes that like where it's like over energy they might play with no pressure and might get T4 again. But I'm down to pick Omit EU. And but I won't be surprised if Toronto get out and win a game and blah blah. You know.
Yeah. Sure. Kips he might just gap them. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. OpTic 2-0.
OpTic 2-0 because I think you and I right now, based on champs, would pick OpTic over Thieves, and I think Falcons got bro, the way Falcons were playing at champs, is anyone on that side like Miami, Vancouver, Pete? I don't think so. But this is the interesting part. Then, if we assume Thieves are not going to shit their pants again. Like, who do we trust at these other five?
Nobody. And I would say this though. I come into this of the thought process of like, I've been here before on a struggling team at the end of the year. And you come into it with all these, thoughts in your process. And you're like, all right, we're going to fucking win this game and not get in this shit situation where do or die in the groups, right? You lose that game. Everything you talked about doesn't work. You start to get frustrated and those feelings start to come back. And then you got to play this challenger team who's full of fucking energy and you just lose. And like, to me, that's going to be P7, right? And I just feel like, if they go up against a Miami, like P7 will just win. Like Miami do not play efficient Call of Duty. Their search and destroy has fallen off of a cliff. Vancouver is basically another challengers team in disguise of the organization of Vancouver. Boston Breach are like a, They got old man Tej, like, and he could have the random performance, but I just feel like P7 have been in these Grueler series. They've been putting in a ton of work on the back end. They got some great reps at champs.
Yeah, but it's not possible for them and Thieves to both. If we assume Thieves lose to OpTic, it would either be them or P7. P7's not beating Falcons.
Oh, they're fucked then. That is ass.
So let me pitch you. Let me pitch you on this. I think that if we don't want to pick a team along the pro teams, Icons and them, that war team is like actually not that bad.
I know that they're decent,
but they like the only thing is they got smoked. The two teams they lost to at the only team they lost to, I think, at the event was Team War.
Isn't Flames dropping like a 1.2 in like every series? Hasn't he been insane?
Yeah, so that's why like I would love to pick Project Notorious, but because of the way the draw works,
yeah, they're just screwed.
Falcons, like,
yeah,
they're just screwed. So do you want to pick? I mean, Miami will win, lose. So like, it really comes down to we probably trust Miami more than Vancouver. Actually, I don't even know if yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, I'd probably trust Miami over
Boston
Vancouver. Yeah.
So do we take like Miami, Boston, or War?
Probably Miami at that point. Yeah. I mean,
Miami, but like I won't be surprised if Team War gets out of this, bro. I truly will not be shocked if Icons and them actually go 2-1 in Group A.
Yeah, let's just go Miami for now, though. So then now do we go to the next portion? Can we do the bracket?
Go to the bracket tab. It should be.
All right, so.
Make your own bracket.
Wait, where is the? I'll make your own bracket. Hey, why is War in here? Something messed up.
Go to EWC
Oh,
groups.
run?
We pick a combination. No, hold on. We might have picked the combination. Not possible then. G2 will win and lose and play the other side.
And then they would make it in.
Then Ome will lose and win. Is it the Miami combination? No, let me win and play the other side.
Here, let's say if you picked War, Resim failed. Oh, I think your Sim's just messed up.
So do this. Click Miami, then run. In the top right hand corner.
Yeah, I did.
No, you gotta. Yeah, but now you just okay. You gotta pick the teams. You gotta pick the teams that we picked. So you're missing one. You gotta pick Miami.
You said unclick Miami.
No, click Miami.
Okay, now run.
Now run it.
Resim failed. DEFCON 1 in the CODCAST, ladies and gentlemen. I know this works because FaZe, like we said, would go 2-0. Gentlemates would go 2-0. And then G2 would play the opposite side. They would make it, right? And then Omit EU. Oh, maybe it's Omit and G2 can't both come out.
I think they can because G2 we would.
No, G2 would play like theoretically Toronto here, right? And then they would make it.
They'd beat Cloud9, lose to Gentlemates, and they would play their Carolina, Toronto, or the LCQ team.
And they would make it. And then, but there's a fourth team. So how do Omit EU make it out? Wow, I'm confused, chat.
I'm just trying.
Ben's Claude gimmick isn't working.
No, because your shit's like bugged, but I don't know why it's bugged.
Let's go back and look at this real quick. Where is this? Okay, so we're gonna get this right, chat.
Oh, it's bugged about the Omit EU thing. That's why.
Yeah, I don't think Omit can come out if those two come out because Omit would theoretically they would lose to Gentlemates here, right? And they would then drop down, and then they would play the loser of this. So then they'd play Cloud9, right? So Omit would then beat Cloud9. Then they play somebody from here.
It's probably a bug with Vercel. I'm gonna be honest. It's probably a bug with my hosting on this. So do we just make like a challenge bracket with the seating and then just do that?
Yeah, let's do that. Well, it's not going to be an accurate bracket because these teams are going to pick who they play.
Well, yeah, but there's no way for us to predict that.
Yeah, there's no way.
Let's just do the make your own bracket thing. So go back to the groups then.
Okay.
I think what said then try to pick like the top three.
Yeah, I think FaZe go back to back here. I truly do. I think FaZe I think they've been playing the best team ball in Hardpoint for 2 months now. I think they're unbelievable. And now Simp is coming off an MVP. His confidence fully back. His confidence was fully back before the tournament began. We were talking to him, and he played well in Search and Destroy. I think after the MVP, he's going to play even better in Respawn now. 04, I've consistently said it since he got MVP at Major 2, has been a top 5 SMG in the world, if not top 3. He brings so much value in Search and Destroy, in Respawn, in every single situation, in every clutch. The amount of value 04 brings, one, he's finding a shit ton of kills, right? He's getting a ton of kills, and he has stretches where he's taking over. But even when he's not getting kills, he is getting an immense amount of value on the map. So I think that sub duo, force to be reckoned with. Abuza is, I mean, that guy's one map a series is just going to win you a map on his own. Draws is super consistent. I just think top down, that team is ridiculous. And as we described frequency earlier, I think FaZe will be good at that map based on how they play hardpoint. And if that map is how it was in BO4, they're going to be amazing at it. So I think FaZe have a really good chance to go back to back here. And I guess let's just keep it on FaZe, and I'll kick that over to you. What are your thoughts on them and their chances of running it back?
So let me go backwards. I think I got Falcons getting third. I think the only teams that Falcons lost to a champs were FaZe and OpTic. I think having Coach on stage and having Clay, especially to fill in their gaps in communication and Respawn, I think will only help them. S&D, they were good at the game mode. They were actually weak at champs was Overload. That was like the one game mode that was like kind of killing them, especially in trying to get back in the series against FaZe and OpTic. And I don't know if there's enough time for them to clean that up, but I just kind of like their chances, especially if Thieves are a little iffy in this one. Falcons third, but I don't know. I want to believe in Thieves, bro. It's just like I just don't. They have all the talent to do it and win, and we've already seen them win this season. But I just don't know, based on all the stuff that happened at champs, like how locked in they are.
No, it's gonna be hard to be. It's gonna be hard to shake that off, man. That's a hard one, dude.
Yeah.
Let me pull the head up.
So the OpTic FaZe thing is interesting because I want to pick FaZe. I put this together, Ant. I put it in Twitch chat. You know,
Can you put it in the feed can you put it in the document?
Yeah. So I kind of did a little bit of a deep dive to the stats. I made a little Claude artifact, so you'll be able to like pull it up.
Where's FaZe?
So pull up the thing I pulled up, and then I want you to scroll down to, you're going to see that under section 3 is a chart. And there's some shocking information on this chart. Like,
so yeah, I'm about to pull this up. Before I pull this up, I just want to say, I'm going to assume your mind is in the same place mine is, in that.
We'll see.
Well, actually, let's just do this first. I'll bring my point up after. What the hell? The grand finals audit, 1 trophy from 5 finals.
Scroll down to the third to point 3. You're gonna see there's a big table that says S&D round economy.
All right.
So you're almost there. You're almost there. So what this compares, and you can zoom in, is their performance on LAN outside of grand finals and their performance in grand finals. And what you're gonna realize by looking at this chart is they are still very good at starting off the S&D rounds. But they are terrible in grand finals at doing the easy part, especially once the bomb has been planted. It's shocking how bad they are at situationals, and specifically grand finals. It's night and day. The difference in some of these stats is stark.
Whoa, they're
and by
literally
the way, the sample
tweaking.
size on this is, the sample size on this is decent. By the way, this isn't like a couple.
It's 5 finals.
It's just to be clear on the sample size. They played 19 LAN series, because I'm obviously counting, like, you play a lot in Major 3, and it's 5 finals. So it's 20, so like it's a decent amount of maps, and specifically in S&D, it's 21 non-finals maps and 14 finals maps. And the fact that on offense, bro, I'm actually the shockingest ones. Their percent of offensive wins, hover over where it says on attack, bro. They have a delta on outside of grand finals. They've won.
Almost 60%. Yeah. It says 58.9% here.
60. They win 60% of non-final offensive rounds, and they win only 40 of those.
Yeah, which is absurd. And if you think about it, in the last episode, I think we watched a significant amount of VOD. It's these situations where like later in that tournament, they were trying to get bombs down super quick, and it was like working a decent amount of the time. But like in 4v4 situations with bombs down, they're getting broken apart. And like rounds you just never see from OpTic. 80% in non-final to 47. That's such a significant change to the point where like it's literally breaking. Like that's breaking for OpTic.
40%. Can you imagine? Listen, the league. I looked at the league average, something like in the 60s. I think actually it might be higher. It might be in the 70s. I need to double check. But like, bro, to your point, like they're not like their problem is very solvable. They are in S&D because the last grand finals we just saw, they split the respawns with FaZe. Hardpoint split, Overload split. They lost 3 round 11s. But I gotta be honest, outside the round 11s. Bro, they lost a lot of rounds where they did the easy part and just fucked up the hard part. Once bomb is down, communicating with each other, and just like ensuring that we're holding hands. And it's not just in situations where they were even 4-4. It was situations where they had a man advantage and they were scamming because Shotzi was spraying to the water, or that 4v2
or running into the back jungle by himself, getting picked by 04 on the rat back. I mean, there's like a significant amount of like standout plays you can look at and like, how is this possible? The retake on the den, the raid was just bad all around. You look at this OpTic team and you just go, it has to be mental. And also just some of the choices that they make in these search and destroys. Like, I think it was you guys talking about it, or maybe it was Temp on the Breakpoint show, where it's like, why is Hook just mindlessly planting bomb every round in search and destroy? No switch ups for them. So, I mean, I think that obviously needs to be adjusted. I actually agree with that take. And that kind of leads me into what I want to talk about then, Ben. This is awesome. I don't know how long this took you, but this is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you could there's a lot of there's a lot of information in here. I mean, if we scroll down even farther, I mean, Kyler needs to play better on Sundays. I think that's been mostly discussed.
Not only just that though, his worst match every tournament has been the final. Like every tournament.
You know who's been bad at S&D also in finals is Perk 30.
Yeah,
he is the world's greatest S&D player outside of finals, and he's averaging a 0.87 in S&D finals this year. So explain
Hooks
that
can't be much better. Hooks cannot be. I'm telling you, this guy has been unreal this year. I mean, guys, just look at every single tournament. So this is Major 1. I mean, the guy was on a tear, 0.78 in the final. This is Major 2, on a tear, 0.79 in the final. This is Major 3, over a 1.1 in every series, besides Toronto, still over a 1, with a 1.2 in S&D final. Worst series of the tournament. So that's 3 majors in a row. Then we get to Major 4, final, worst series of the tournament. Although they won because Dashy went nuclear. Dashy did not go nuclear in this latest final. And look, again, Hook's worst series of the tournament in the grand final. So I think obviously he needs to play better. Perk 30, to your point, do you have his stuff on here?
Yes. If you scroll down, Merc in S&D non-finals is averaging a 1.5, which is insane. And then in S&D finals, he's averaging a 0.8.
Yeah, I mean,
so
this is everything you need to know right here, guys. I mean, you look at and if you even go back to the first major, the amount of rounds that they choked against the Gentlemates, you can like envision just multiple rounds throughout the year where they could have, I mean, they really could have had 3+ championships this year, like for sure.
But but to come full circle now about this FaZe OpTic, because I think we see that in the grand finals again, barring Thieves being back to being good, which I just don't want to predict coming in this event. But if Thieves are good, they can definitely battle about these teams. This should be on paper solvable for OpTic, but it doesn't seem like they've been able to solve it all year. So
wait, on paper though, I see where you're going. I don't know if I agree with on paper though, because their looks, the initial looks and the plays from OpTic in this latest grand final were fantastic, Ben. Some of the quick plants, like the positions they were putting themselves in, even the den round 11, like I liked. It's just like later in the round when they have to make their own decision, like the round where Shotzi runs through mid, finds 2, and they get bombed down is a beautiful design. Like that is just fantastic. And to allow them to just retake through dojo. So I think it's purely mental. Like I don't think it's something that you can really like go into VOD and watch and be like, yo, we got to fix this. Well, no shit, we can't get ripped one by one on a retake on Den. Well, no shit, we can't get bombed down by Tiki and let 04 run down the stairs and jump up bedroom and rip Mercules out of the bedroom. You know you get what I'm saying though? Like, it's one of those things where what Crowder was talking about, and I know this is gonna sound insane, like if there's pros watching, like reading books and shit like that, like that's like the difference there, Ben. Like, no joke. Like, the being able to be calm in those moments, like when Hoop takes bro hostage, that in a ranked play is a or in a scrim is a 3-piece, like every single time. Like a meat shield, 2 guys in front of you, and he throws the nade and blows himself up. Like, it's just nerves. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I never got nervous. I've gotten nervous 5-5 before, but that's just what separates people at this point. So for them, I think it is mental for sure.
I wonder if it's a combination of 2 things to your point. One is we're not communicating enough in the S&D round. I mean, like 04 alluded to this when we talked to him on the last show, because FaZe had the same problem. They felt like not talking enough about what we're doing on the map and we want our teammates to do, and then deciding to do shit together. And like that, I think definitely accounts for some of the post plants where they're in positions where they're not trading for each other, you know, playing solos. The blocking out, though, I think some of that's mental because people feeling like they need to make a play, but they just need to put their fucking controller down. Whether it's a 4-on-2 or whatever.
Yeah, I don't.
We just need to hold hands and like just play the clock, bro. We got skill. Look, like weird shit's gonna happen, bro. The Abuza play, that's a 1 in a million play. Like, I was the 500 IQ. It is what it is. But like some of the other decision making out of them in this series and some of the other series in S&D, bro, being the first guy engaging in a post plan on Den is the guy pinching, like we've seen from them a couple of times on retakes when they lost at Thieves in the grand finals, like stuff like that. I just think they need to talk more. It's solvable problems. I just don't know if they're going to solve it before this event.
Well, I think it's because I think your point is kind of right, because it's one of those things where, aside from the finals, in a lot of these post plant situations, the tendency from OpTic all year has been like they're pretty active, right?
Yeah.
How many of these rounds, the raid one where they had bomb down, they all backed up, no activity at all? I wonder if it's almost maybe overcoms or it's not common the right shit. But usually, like, they're active, and it felt like they weren't in some of these situations. Obviously, there's some rounds where Shotzi's doing a little bit too much, but we're talking specifically post-plant here, getting broken down. Shotzi's camping in the corner, a guy's top bedroom, not helping his teammate water steps. Like, it felt like OpTic in this particular final was, like, playing almost too safe in the post-plant, which is different than what we've seen from them before. I think they just need to find a balance, bro. Like, obviously, they clearly talked about it with Shotzi, and that's maybe why some of those were adjusted post-plant. But
you know what the wrinkle is for this one is Damon or JB can be there in between rounds and give them a little bit of macro of like, yo, let's communicate a bit more, or like, you know, nice try, but like we need to play this way in the post-plant. So I'm gonna say this. I think OpTic win EWC. I got FaZe second and Falcons third, with the big asterisks that I'm not predicting Thieves in this top 3, but I genuinely believe if they are actually a team, that there is a good chance they win this one too.
Yeah.
Purely off of the fuck you energy.
So I think Thieves get top 3. I think it's hard to shake off, but I think the group stage, if they do, you know, get through that unscathed, well, obviously they'll play OpTic, so they lose that, but they beat the 2 other teams. If they handle them well, I think that'll be enough confidence for them, for Scrap to be back on point. And I think they get top 3. I think we're going to see regression coming a little bit for the Riyadh Falcons team. I think it'll still be fine.
Regression, like just in general, or specifically in like a mode?
I just don't think we're going to see these, like the thunderous hardpoint performance once again like that. Like, I think they'll still be good. But it's hard to, you know, for these guys, they're still a new team. Luka obviously burst onto the scene and was frying, full of confidence. But typically in the months after that, you're not just going to, it's not linear. You're not just going to get better and better and better. I think if they run into this Thieves team late in the tournament with the amount of Call of Duty that has been played from these guys, like they're not catching Thieves, you know, off guard again. Right. So I think if they end up playing Thieves for that like top 3 spot, I think Thieves would end up taking it. Or Gentlemates. Right. So I just can't put the Falcons above Thieves are Gentlemates. One, Gentlemates will be playing in front of their home crowd, and I think Thieves, with all the COD that's being played, like Scrap will just be back. So yeah, my top three is going to be OpTic, FaZe.
Hopefully they're back because this is it. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I saw that Nate Shot clip. Like, it's gonna be tough for Thieves to keep both Scrap and Paco. I just think there are just gonna be better situations out there. I think even if they win this thing, but like this is also a last hurrah situation, and then they may just fuck you up. Like they were a good team before Ernie had the worst performance ever at champs. Like, there's a good chance they win this. It's just I don't know. I haven't really talked to anybody in that camp. I don't know if you have. Like, I just don't know where they're at, like mentally as a squad after whatever the fuck happened a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, I mean the last hurrah thing is it's a fine point, but this is still a massive tournament with a lot of money on the line. Yeah, I can't imagine after that performance that they don't want to come in and rectify the situation, right? I have not talked with anybody in that camp, but when has Scrap ever shown us that he just is gonna take a event off? It's not a thing. Like he came in, he got shit on, he put out a huge tweet, like obviously the most significant adversity he has ever faced in his career. The kid is gonna bounce back. It's the first time I've ever seen him have back-to-back series where he didn't play well. I can't imagine it's gonna be back-to-back tournaments. I really can't.
Yeah.
And that's just, I just have faith in him as a player. Like I think that was an absolute anomaly. What we just saw. Like obviously he hasn't been placing well at champs, but like he hasn't played like that, Ben. Like that was, I don't know if there's merit to the PC thing at all, but shit, I believe him.
It happened in 2 series. Like, come on, like the second series maybe, and then as someone that tells he may have tilted.
Bro, he is 99 overall, bro.
I know, and he had a bad 2 series, but this is what's interesting about this tournament, which is we've seen upsets every year. We're gonna have a really cool 3rd place team. And look, OpTic and FaZe were in the grand finals only a few weeks ago. They'll probably factor in.
But
Thieves
Ben, hold on.
Have that in their. But let me finish the thought. Thieves had that in their bag. We know they've also won an event this year. Falcons, I think, looked pretty good in S&D a couple of weekends ago. Do I think they could beat OpTic or FaZe in a best of 7? Don't really know, but they have some fun talent on there. But we haven't talked about Gentlemates. If Estriol has an amazing tournament, they have a really possibility of
making deep in this tournament. Yes, they do. Gentlemates have a real chance, and I think they're going to be the hungriest team.
Toronto, I don't know if Jamie drops like a 1.0 again. Like who knows?
Right? Yeah. Lofty goals there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The Gentlemates one is interesting. Depends on how much they've grinded. I feel like that they should have the most motivation right now. Trying to, some of these guys trying to lock their spot in for the next year on this team. If you win the EWC, then that gives a pretty compelling argument to run it back with everybody that's currently there.
What player do you think? What 2 players think are under the most pressure to perform at this event?
Scrap, number 1. Scrap, okay. Number 1. But if you really want to dive super deep into that, we can. Because I was gonna say, is it a foregone conclusion that Hydra's just going to Gentlemates? Because if that's the case, then that makes Estriol have a lot of pressure, low key. He needs to perform. He needs to be a desirable pickup for other teams. Honestly, there's a lot riding on this for a lot of teams when you look at across the league and even some of these challenger players. This event, on an individual basis, right before the offseason is huge, right? This is a lot of people are going to remember when they're forming rosters, how these players played at EWC. So I'd go Scrap number 1. Number 2, I'd probably go Hook. If OpTic faced a really tough loss to FaZe again, which would now be 3 grand finals that they would have potentially been cooked by FaZe. Because what was the first one was 4-1, right? 4-1, and then 4-2, and then now if they cooked them again, then OpTic, I would imagine, would entertain making a change, no? So theoretically, that would put pressure on Hook.
You're the same too that I do. It's Justice, I think, is basically playing for a spot. I think Tyler may be playing for a spot, although I think we're going to debate for that for a while if they decide to make a change there about the validity of that. And I think there are a couple of honorable mentions. Some say Kiz in the chat. I agree. Kiz, Exnid, Dante is another player who
I think Kiz is screwed from that
Kiz
team.
is probably screwed, but like if they win an event with Kiz, who knows?
But he's good.
Dante also think is under pressure, and Neum. I gotta be honest, Neum did not play well at champs. He's been okay this year, but like, you know, it's not been like a massive upward trajectory from that event win.
Yeah.
If he has kind of another iffy event, he may be a player that Thieves, I don't think they drop, but they may decide to go in a different direction, keep his rights, and kick the can and try and loan him out type situation.
I think Envoy is kind of under pressure too, low key.
Yeah, I agree on that, Dell. There are a lot. There are a lot of players who are kind of
there's
playing for
a ton of players.
Squad.
What are some of these other teams? See, we talk about, yeah, I mean, for the whole G2 team, I don't know what the deal is with Skies. I don't know. He's probably not going to make it to the next season with these guys. But yeah, I mean,
well, he's already been dropped, so like, I think that
they made a change.
They already made that move. Yeah, they made that change. I mean, we talked about it on the last episode, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
They brought in Ben, I believe, right?
Oh, they got Beans on? Oh, I kind of like that. I wasn't aware of that. No, not yet.
Have you not been paying attention? Like, have you not been paying attention? Like,
I've been,
confused. Like,
I've been in dad mode. I told you this since champs. I've been in full on dad mode because I'm going to be gone for 8 days. So these next couple of days are where we lock in and get ready. But that is a good move for G2. Low key, that's a huge move. That low key changes how I think about this matchup. Could be a way.
It changes that much for you. I still I think Ben's better, but I don't think it really moves the needle on the nasty Envoy duo to me being like.
Nah, it does. That team was already solid. I think Beans is a really good search and destroy player. I think he's, efficient enough Slayer. Definitely going to be better than Skies. That's going to make them way better. I don't know how much they're going to, ground they're going to make up going into this event, but it definitely gives them more firepower, in my opinion, for sure. And I don't know. It's just tough because they'll be playing Gentlemates in front of their home crowd, right? So I don't know if it's significant enough to change that.
Maybe they get some fuck you, Dylan Envoy energy, and they get the upset there. I don't know. I mean, they'll beat C9
and Beans energy. Damn, I actually like that move. I can't believe I hadn't seen that one.
Mixed series good now. Mixed series good now. But they'll beat. Listen, I think.
Yeah, you were quick to just pick Gentlemates, even with that upgraded roster.
Yeah, mates are. Oh no! Listen, the only team that mates are losing to in this tournament, the only teams I can see them losing to, are Falcons, FaZe, OpTic, and Thieves. That's it. I think anybody else that they're going to beat. It's not even as crowd use. I think they're going to have to beat those teams. The problem is like FaZe definitely want to beat them in Paris after all the shit that happened in Major 4.
I just don't know because
OpTic are just better than them. Thieves are just better than them. And I think Falcons, bro. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think Aluka is so like if I could put money down on Rookie of the Year for next year, I'm hammering Aluka, bro. Him and Ethan are probably.
No, Ethan's good, dude. Ethan's good, my dude.
Good, but bro, we're already forgetting about Mo. And Mo went to champs, his first ever pro event, and like was putting up good numbers against. Yeah. Oh, they beat Gentlemen to that tournament, right? They beat Thieves at that tournament. And Mo wasn't getting carried in those series.
No, he was frying.
Him and MC are the reason that I believe it. You and I have swapped positions on Falcons. It's insane, by the way.
No, I like the Falcons team. I just don't think that they're going to be able to beat Thieves again this time. I feel like Scrap's going to play better. Assuming the situation gets to where we think it's going to get, where it's like if Thieves make it out of the groups and they get a couple good wins under their belt, I think that it'll be regular scheduled programming at that point. And Scrap will be back to 99 overall. Does that mean I think Riyadh's not good? No, I think Riyadh's good. I just don't think they'll get top 3. But yes, you're right. That kid is unbelievable. Aluka, fearless. I mean, first map, it's 30. I think most time in the hill, pops off damage. So they have a real shot for sure.
Here's the thing, bro. I'm gonna give you the Falcon strat, bro. If in respawn Clay is just calling out for Xnid, that's all I'm saying, bro. is just you and I swap positions. I love Falcons have the world's Falcon side of the pod is P7, Vancouver, and Miami with the way they're playing.
Yeah, it's free.
They shouldn't have any issues. It's gonna come down to like the draw. But like I genuinely don't. The only teams that can I think beat Falcons right now is FaZe, OpTic, and like they beat Thieves at the last event.
Bro,
So,
it's just crazy, like how much it's done for MC. Like obviously, Aluka's unreal. He's so good. His first performance was so good.
yeah.
But like what it does for MC, and I think a lot of people just didn't consider, myself included, is like actually having another true AR player that's and like a good AR. Like not even just like he didn't have a second AR player all year long, like a real one. You know what I mean? So if you couple that with like Pred maybe playing a little bit too much for kills, to now you actually have a second AR. And not only do you have a second AR, you have a really fucking good second AR who can find a lot of kills. The amount of search and destroy rounds, Ben, that we saw, Luka getting a couple bullets in and then Celium cleaning it up. Like I spoke with them. They came to the green room twice. And I had significant like conversations with MC and with Luka about it. And just like for MC, he's just been kind of handcuffed since the beginning of this year up until the moment they picked up Luka, because he just hasn't had assistance in that role, like real assistance. And it's like it's multiple things. Kismet being on the true role that he needs to be on. Celium also being able to be a flex finally again, which was the best role he's had in his career, right? He can pull out the NPC and go crazy. So it is. I think that's the reason, the main reason Celium was so dog shit at Search and Destroy the first 4 months of this game was that they didn't have another AR to like work the map with him, and it just changed it. So yeah, I do believe in this team. I just don't think they're going to beat Thieves again. So we haven't swapped spots because you were out on Falcons.
No, but here's my thing with Falcons, bro. I would go to the event every day, and like the time that I'm going to do coffee and COD, the Falcons team, because they were on the same side of the Luxor as me, like. The squad was already there, hanging out at Starbucks, ready to go. Like, they were, and I don't know if this is a honeymoon thing, but like, they were a real team unit at that event. No, it might not be because they may all be bought in now.
No, I'm saying it's part of the honeymoon regardless. Like, you can expand upon that. But that was part of it for sure.
You're missing the fortunate trees. I'm not saying it's a honeymoon thing. I'm just saying they dropped somebody, and all of a sudden it seems like they're a bit more of a team. So I still think their limiter is I don't think they're going 5-1 in S&D at the event again. And the overload was not good the last event. But I think that with the right draw, like these, because again, the way this tournament works, you win one match in playoffs. Let's say you lose then to FaZe or OpTic. Well, you're in the third place aside, or you can still get third. Yeah. Which if Falcons get back-to-back thirds.
Oh, incredible turnaround. Would be great, they have their duo for the future for sure. Exit and Lucas cemented. And obviously MC's got to be on a multi-year.
I don't think Exit's auto-locked. I think I think if I were Falcons, I think this is.
He's locked, Ben. Whatever you're about to say, you can say he's locked.
I don't think Exit's auto-locked for next year. I think Falcons will consider all options,
he is
but
locked.
I do think that. Here's what I do know about Falcons. Two things. MC. I assume he plays good at this event and doesn't get shit on. He's still MC, bro. He's still, I like to make fun of MC. He's still fugazi.
Yeah, he's still really good.
S&D performance for most of this year. He's got to not have that. Like, he's got to sometimes get that. Bro, just get a sub, turn your fucking brain off and run, because he's probably one of the best flex players we've ever had in the history of COD when he gets fucking going. With the
Correct.
So, like, that's what's annoying me about MC, because we know he can run a sub.
Welcome, Taylor.
One champ's doing it. And he also fried last weekend or the other weekend when doing it. And I think Mo, depending on how free agency goes, I think Mo will get brought back to Falcons. I think they love that guy.
No doubt.
They will probably try to work something out with FaZe where he probably comes on a permanent deal. The Exit thing is not auto lock. I think he likely comes back, but that's not 100%. I think they will take a look at the market. I think they still want to build a team that's the best team next year, and it may be without Exit. So
okay, well, I won't speak on that, but I will say this to the point of them being just like a good team unit. Clay's one of my best friends. And we talked a lot after the event, and I don't think he'll mind me sharing this, but he basically said that it has been by far and away the best 2 weeks of practice that he has had in his coaching career with this new unit. Like it wasn't even close coming into that event. So he said that he kind of knew that it was going to be this result. So I mean, if that, he wasn't saying it as like an indictment on Fred, but I just think that this, I mean, obviously part of it might be. Maybe they didn't have the right roles, but also just how good Luka is.
Listen, I'm not a pussy, and I don't mind AG blowing up my fucking DMs.
That's not what Clay was saying. He was just saying it was amazing practice, and I believe him, dude. I think this team can be good.
I've heard other things about AG on this team. The way I'll phrase it is this. AG is in the same boat that Dashy was in a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You are not the rook anymore. You cannot be carried by your teammates from a leadership standpoint. You are the leader now. You are the one that is setting the culture for your team. You are the one that should be the first one in the room and the last one out. Like, he has to decide now what he wants to do with his career, because the path that he's on right now, I don't think he's getting on a top team next year off the rip unless he
gotta work his way back up, man. Gotta work his way back up.
His best situation is going to be probably pairing with Lurks and being a leader in that squad and getting to overperform and then kicking it on from there. Otherwise, he's going to go down the path that, like, Tej is down and has been down for a while now since Black Ops 4. And
Brad needs to learn how to take a back seat, Ben. There's been these times. I mean, I've been around COD since the beginning. Like, these players who come in.
I think he can do it, by the way. Should I clarify? I think he can do it. If Brandon figured it out, anybody can figure it out. So I think AG can do it. But go ahead.
It's weird. The personalities are like a bit different between those two. Like, if we want to draw that parallel.
Yeah, they are for sure.
And I would also say with Brandon, like, he was never like the overtly cocky guy, which Pred kind of is. Like, he really wasn't. Like, Brandon was always kind of a jokester. Like, and he also did get like mentored a bit by Formal, which helps a lot.
Yeah, because Formal told him to lock the fuck in, because he was like, and Brandon's talked about this, like, not taking VOD seriously, not taking the leadership seriously, just kind of showing up and doing whatever, waking up one day and having a fucking epiphany and trying to 180 our system. Like that, like, I'm not saying AG's doing all of that, but like, he's now been dropped off of OpTic and Falcons back to back.
Yep.
And I don't think FaZe is an option available to him next season. I don't think Thieves will be. Toronto probably not. So like, the list of teams that he'll be on next year, like, he's got to be the culture setting guy. And if he does that on a slower game, I believe he can get back to the same bullshit we saw. He was on Vanguard where he's a fucking factor in every series.
I mean, well, he was a slayer this year. Like, I mean, there were a stretch in Hardpoint where he was unreal. But I just think he needs to be willing to take a back seat for his teammates, which is something we've just never seen before from AG, right? And if, like you said, you drew the comparison to Dashy, obviously it's not apples to apples, but there was a good 2 years where Dashy took the back seat for a while. And now that, you know, he's to the point where he's a vet in his career, he's winning MVPs again and taking over series. You know, he took over the grand final that they won. So yeah, for AG, he's got to work his way back up, and he's got to play way more team ball. And that's going to be like revamping his entire play style, honestly, because he did not do that this year for XNID at all. Which I don't know how bought in he was, but it seemed like he was off the rip. I'm excited to see what happens with him, though. I think that's interesting, like him and Lurks. If Lurks starts to look like shit, then AG we'll have to have some discussions about that.
I mean, we'll talk about it more in the offseason, but like, doing all the Ben J 5,000 IQ in my head, like, I think Toronto. I don't think that I don't think Toronto leadership will. I don't think it's a team fit. No. So I think we then consider the rest of the options, and obviously stuff can change. I think him pairing with Lurks and like the right ARs, they can be that team like Carolina a couple years ago, where they could be like sneakily a top 4 team at the.
There'll be some left outs. There'll be some leftovers, and Preto end up on that team.
We'll talk about playing in August, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I think we covered basically everything. I guess the dark horse we didn't talk about too much. Is there a team you consider dark horse? I guess G2 again, as usual, or like the dark horse. But I just feel like the top teams are too, like, it's too significant, the gap after FaZe, OpTic, and then you go, you know, Gentlemates LA, Gentlemates LA and Falcons. I feel like the gap after that's like pretty significant to like put another team as a dark horse. So I don't know if I would consider anyone a dark horse at this tournament. Would you?
No, I agree with you. Like, we've seen enough now that like FaZe, OpTic, Thieves, I think are the 3 teams that I think can win.
Yeah.
Gentlemates and Falcons would be then the next tier. And after that, everybody else has been so up and down, and I don't see it.
Falcons cannot be considered a dark horse, in my opinion, after top 3.
After top 3,
they're not a favorite.
The teams that have won an event this year, other than Gentlemates, are the teams I think that can win. I don't. Fortunately for Gentlemates, I want to believe, but we've seen not enough consistently from Dante and Justice that I think when they play an OpTic or a FaZe in that pressure match, they get it done.
Yeah, like to put it together over the course of the whole tournament, and then for a best of 9, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even like we've seen a lot from Joe. He's been unreal this year, but like need to see him pop take in one of those series late on a Sunday to close it out too, right?
Yeah.
He's had troubles in those matches all year, particularly the OpTic one. So yeah, it's a huge opportunity for them. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. We'll do a show right after the event. Me and Ben will be there, so that'll be a lot of fun. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we close this one out?
Do you want to do Callins or are we skipping that today?
Oh, I thought you had to go. Didn't you say you had to go?
No, I got 30 more minutes.
Fuck yeah, let's do some call-ins.
Because Adam, I think Adam's not gonna be ready till 5:30. So.
Oh, okay, we're chilling then. All right, yeah, let's move over to the call-in channel. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, guys. Just join up here and join the CODCAST stage.
I will say for questions, guys, like it can be EWC questions, but also feel free to ask any roster mania stuff because I'm getting a lot of those questions in my chat. I'm sure some of y'all are going to talk about some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's fun to like just kind of hypothesize like what can go down. It's weird without knowing everybody's contract situation, but Trolley music, that is the jingle, bro. As we get in here, all right, Phoenix is the first one.
Discord jingle. I have it turned off. I don't even hear it.
I like it.
It's certainly a jingle.
Guys, we were not talking about Hook real quick. We weren't talking about Hook in any way other than just presenting facts. Merc hasn't been good in search and destroy in the finals, and Hook's worst match every tournament has been the grand final. And we're not saying Hook's a bad player. That's something that OpTic just need to address and figure out why is this happening. No, and part of it is probably because he's carrying the fucking bomb every round in search.
No, but he's also falling off in respawn too. Listen, he's getting asked to do a lot on that team.
He is.
But like I'm failing to understand why, even when playing these good teams in winners finals, he can do what he's doing.
Yeah.
But the minute that the grand final starts, he's like regressing to shell. Unfortunately, with the way this works, and is like they go to this event and not play well, the comms kind of question aside, they may look to upgrade, and it just is what it is.
Well, listen, it's on OpTic to figure that out and help him and see what the hell's going wrong. And maybe a coach on stage will do that. But he is literally sensational in every single match but the grand final. All right, Mark, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, man? So yeah, just a quick question. I'm somewhat new to COD, so I started watching when Suma through Suma like watch parties and stuff. So I'm not familiar with like the history of COD. I'm assuming you, Nameless, you're like an expert because Suma talks about you and all the time. But I'm more curious about Ben. Like, what got Ben into the industry?
I got you.
I feel like Ben.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
I want to see the version of
my story. So Ben was a mod in Clayster's chat. But he was like a cool mod. And he knew a lot about the game. And just a smarter guy. And thought that he could be of assistance to the FaZe team during that time. And obviously got kind of close with the guys, and they brought him in. And then Ben ended up becoming a coach, I think, for a bit, which they realized was not the right play. More of a management type of guy, because Ben doesn't even know where the map ends on Karachi. But then, after Ben proved himself to be smart in terms of the economics of Call of Duty, he got a job at Esports Engine and came to Columbus. And now he's a beloved member of the COD community. And we all love this guy now. So, talking
Wait,
head.
so it was Clayster,
absolutely.
not Suma?
Clayster is Ben's Codfather.
So let me explain the whole story. So,
oh shit, I never knew that was Suma for some reason.
Before, around the time I was doing the mod thing, I was also working for OpTic Intel, so there was like a bunch of other stuff going on. But like Clay, bro, I knew what I was talking about. Clay used to say stuff to his team that he would see me say in chat conveniently after the map when he's saying it. So I know Clay's fucking finesse there. And like I got involved with FaZe a bit once the Zuma team formed, kind of like in the years after, because like I lived in Austin, they lived in Austin, and then I ended up coaching them for like one event because in the end of IW when their team broke up and Pierce came in, like Crowder was coaching them, but Chris also wanted to go play, so I coached them for like one event.
Yeah, and then by the way, after Ben coached, Pierce began his holdout. So just keep that in mind.
No, Pierce is always in a fucking depth because they're going to bring Crowder back and whatever. But then I did the management thing for a while. I was managing multiple teams at FaZe at the end, and then obviously I went to go work for Esports Engine, doing business development, and then we started the Flank. The Flank had 500 viewers, and I had 5,000 viewers, and I was like, maybe I should do content. And Adam was like, you should do content. You're young. I'm like, I bet I'm out of here. And then
Young.
Wait, by the way, Ben was also executive producer of the CODCAST when we were doing the live in person ones too.
For sure, yeah.
Gotcha. My last question, Ben. Did you take any classes or anything to learn like video production, or you just learned that on like through YouTube videos and just like, yeah, man.
Talking about, like, you talking about when I like go to events and stuff?
Yeah. For like when you're on, like, supposedly you're like the tech guy when it comes to the flying. So I'm assuming, like, did you learn that on your own, or you like took classes, or you just saw it through like YouTube videos and just fucking ChatGPT type shit?
When I was younger, like in high school and middle school, I was really into like video production, and I worked. Like I'd volunteer at like the local. We had like a community TV station. Did that like a bunch in high school, and when I was in college, I was working for college radio. So it's like I've had going into before this like AV experience, especially with the production side of it. So like the streaming stuff, like that stuff is all just learned because I stream. But like how to do the setups with the AV and the setups of the mixer and getting levels and noise gate stuff was all like stuff I learned when I was younger.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, thanks for the time, guys.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Appreciate the question. Bepsi showed you Benjay. I definitely get some tech from Bepsi, but some of the other stuff.
That was good, Benjamin Nassim lore right there, guys.
Good Benjay lore. For people that don't know.
You ever wonder where this guy came from?
I've told that story on many a podcast. There's plenty.
Mouse and Board, welcome. I gotta say that guy is not gonna get more than 3 touchdowns this year. Your avatar, so.
You're smoking crack.
Yeah, it's over with.
Let's not ask Benjay a personal life story again. I do got a question though. The format changes. It's kind of not been a topic for the last 2 splits or whatever majors. How would you guys feel about like the format staying the same, but the team coming out of winners getting to choose if there's an extra hard point over swing mode?
No, I don't think that should be it. We discussed that in the past. They should just pick all the maps in the grand final. The team that comes out of winners.
Pick all the maps.
Yep. They should pick every single map. If we're gonna keep it this way, where it's just the best of 7 and there's no like 1-0 advantage, they should pick every map in the order of the maps, which they already get like even a little bit more of an advantage than before, but I don't think it's significant enough. And that's really the only thing I could see everybody being like, okay, that's a clear advantage for the winners bracket team. That's just where I'll leave that. That's literally my final take on it if we're not going to change it.
And I do got another question. Rewatching the finals, the champs finals from last year to this year, was there anything that you guys particularly noticed different about the way OpTic had played?
In this grand finals compared to the other ones?
Yeah, like last year, I noticed there was a lot more energy in the team, and like this year, throughout all the finals, really. I mean, maybe at Paris, the Paris final Shotzi was, getting a little hype. Merc was too, but it just didn't really seem like there was much energy.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what it is they have a target on their back this season and have had their target all season, right? Like last year, they were playing so bad, picked up Merc, played great at champs, carried the momentum because the turnaround to EWC was so short. They all, there's that. But then once the season started, like everybody was gunning for their head this season. And like once they lost those first 2 finals, I think that like weighs on you. Pros have talked about it. Like then you just kind of were trying to battle through that. So I think unfortunately for them, you get into a crossroads of like their communication and teamwork is falling apart in the finals, a la FaZe Vanguard, and the only solution might be a roster change this summer.
Yeah. So I mean,
like scrap.
Listen, like, long story short, like when you're the team that wins like that, you win champs and you win another major before that. Going into that offseason, obviously you keep your roster. The other teams are all forming with your team in mind. That's kind of how it goes, right? And so you're the hunted then. And, for OpTic, it's going to probably be kind of hard after, getting a lot of second places to keep the same raw energy of when you first brought Mercules in and your season's turned around. Because one, it's almost like expected to be there, and they've also lost a lot of those grand finals now, right? So you can't get too hyped because like we haven't closed many of these out. So yeah, I think for them that's probably what you're noticing, and then also that raw hype just kind of goes away when you've been a team for a while. right? Like once you think about the FaZe roster, I'm sure if you've been watching COD for a couple of years, like by the end with that trio, you know, they could be up 2-0. They weren't, aside from Draza, people weren't really going crazy on the team. You know, the energy just kind of like, all right, let's close this shit out. Business as usual.
Yeah.
There's a couple of factors that play there, but yeah, I'd say that's really about it.
I appreciate you guys. Justin's going for over 2K yards next year.
No, he's not. Who's throwing on the ball?
Yes, it don't matter. JJ's outperforming Kyler right now. Training camp.
Yeah, that's not good for you, brother.
That's great. We want JJ to be good.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want JJ to be good?
I had to move him out of here. No, you don't. That's the worst thing ever. Him to be like winning the camp battle, because that means Kyler's ass, and then JJ might be the starter.
But listen, if I'm a Vikings fan, like I gotta be honest, bro. With the way the NFC North is, you obviously want your team to be good. It kind of behooves them a bit to like kind of blow it up, bro.
Yeah.
They're kind of they're on the cross of like cash out on JJ, tank, get a new quarterback, and like reset things. Because I don't think I don't know. They have just. I think KLC's a good coach, but like the lack of a quality quarterback kind of fucked them.
It sucks, bro, because like we're gonna have so many football streams, but it sucks, bro, because like they got Brian Flores. I mean, Dallas Turner's looking pretty good. All these older guys on the O line, like Harrison Smith. It's, like they got these guys who are like ready to win a chip. They just don't got a quarterback. They got the staff, the players, everything. Yeah, it's tough. And
They're on the precipice of needing a tank.
Don't they have a shadow GM now too? Like the guy, I think Nick was telling me, like it's like Howie's right hand man before, because they fired their GM. So I don't know
like ownership brought someone in to be an assistant because he's like the GM in waiting type. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, tough. All right, we got our next call in here. Scotty Scott, what up, man?
Man, what's up, Ben? Big fans.
Yeah.
Also, that last guy's on tar. I really had Justin Jefferson last year, and he did nothing for me.
Yeah, it's over.
Because they had no quarterback last year. That's their hope by bringing Kyler, that maybe they'll have a quarterback this year. But I'm staying away from JJ.
Yeah,
unless he super falls in
Benjay.
Let
me paint this scenario for you guys. Kyler Murray in December in Soldier Field, ice on the field, his little ass running around. It's a wrap, bro.
He's cooked.
He's cooked, bro. Kidding me?
Cooked.
All right, what's the question?
But here's the thing: if Jamar Jefferson's falling in drafts and I'm getting him at value, as fuck, I'll take the flyer.
Yeah,
it just depends on where he's at. You know,
if I get him in the second round late, I'll take JJ. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. All
right, so I have two quick questions, both OpTic related for us. One, if they don't win this event, say they get second or third, is it almost a guarantee that they change? And assuming that we know the changes for Kyler,
yeah,
and they bring Paco in, who has to step up in that scenario where it's Paco and Merc and Dashy? Who has to step up more in the comms? Is it Merc or Ant or Dashy?
No one.
I'm gonna say this: if I were OpTic, I'm giving 5,000 IQ Tech. Okay, so if this happens, just know I called it on the show. If they drop, or like we're moving on from Kyler, then OpTic should immediately after EWC lobby to have coaches on stage, because that will help them in pulling the load on that and having Damon or whoever help them out in game. And they'll be able to kind of solve a lot of the soft skill communication issues.
Can I chime in here, bro?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I chime in here? And with all due respect to everybody who talks about it, it's a talking point for sure. The communication thing is like blown way out of proportion, guys. I'm telling you.
With OpTic?
Yeah, with just like teams in general, really. Obviously, comms have to be good. Dashy's comms are good. Shazzy's comms are good. Like Mercury's comms are fine. Now, Hook does go the extra mile, and he does that for the team. But like, it's just naturally things that need to be called out will more than likely get called out anyway. These guys all know what the hell's going on. You don't go to every grand final without knowing that. And I'm telling you, I've been on teams where we've been like, our comms got to get better. Like, you can fix that shit pretty easy when you have like an elite team. And this shit is blown so out of proportion. Like, look at FaZe. FaZe's comms for years were god awful. Who would you say was the IGL on the FaZe team over the last 3 years?
Well, it was Alec and then Austin, and then who the fuck knows after that? But you're missing a few factors. Cold War FaZe were outslaying everybody by massive amounts. So calling out or not, putting people in fucking blenders. And even in Modern Warfare 2019, these guys were trick shotting people when fucking anyway. Here's the thing. The last 2 years have been very fast games, extremely fast games. You have to talk and communicate very quickly or you are getting shit timings and getting blendered and making dumbass mistakes. And we saw that from OpTic during the 0-18 run last season when their comms were fucking terrible, by the way. Okay? Now, in a slower game coming up, which we think the next game will be slow, you can get away with some of the communication issues because the pace of the game you'll have more breathing room and more time to actually talk through things. But I don't think the communication thing is overblown. I think Merc's comms definitely, no, but let me hear me out. Merc's comms definitely need to be improved. He's got to, at some point, start working on that. We've had that criticism a lot of players of his ilk. He's a talented player on the map, needs to do a better job of communicating what's going on in his skull. It's fine. And Brandon are the type of players that or 50-50 whenever I hear the listening. Sometimes they're really engaged and the small talk is great. And sometimes they're kind of mumbling and not really calling out. And I just don't know if that's enough to get the consistent level of performance that they want as a squad.
All right. So
I hear you. I hear your point. I'm just saying that I do think now with how skilled the top half of the league is and how fast these couple of games have been, I actually do think that communication is a pretty decent skill gap the last couple of years.
Okay, so it is a skill gap, and I'm not diminishing how important communication is, but there's things that are just more important, and it's getting into repeatable situations and a guy like Dashy to understand what, when Shots is making these plays, what he's actually doing. And they've been playing together for so long that that's almost part of it, and there can be a degree of overcoming. I had a discussion with 04 about this at the last event, actually, about how sometimes in Search and Destroy, him and Simp working together isn't always the best. Sometimes we overcom shit. And I'm not saying OpTic does this, but this is the type of player Hook is. He built this personality when he was on that Surge team where he was the leader and he was just calming like crazy and spamming stuff. Yes, he's a human UAV. Yes, it helps them a lot. Is it absolutely necessary for their success? I don't know if it is. I think the comms thing is overblown. I think it always kind of has been when we talk about the top tier teams where it can make up for a lack of, I guess, awareness in some teams that are at the bottom level, but the top teams are aware. They know what other teams are trying to do. And the comms can be quicker, more precise. It doesn't have to be spam. They're coming from here. They're coming from here. We know because we've been in these repeatable situations. And I have had plenty of discussions like this with teams I've been on in the past that keep the comms clear, keep them cool. We all practice and we've all preached and we all know what's going to happen in this scenario. You can comment once or twice, but we know what the fuck's about to transpire. Efficient comms are better than over comms. And now if you're saying they're mumbling, that's a different story. Then yes, they would need to improve upon that. But to say that we just need somebody to come in and be the leader and spam comms where people are spawning where they're at, we don't need that. We need to just all generally understand of okay, when we get in this situation, they're gonna be coming from here. If you're in this spot, make sure you relay this info. It's simple shit and it's overblown. They're a good team. They'll be able to do it.
I want to get back to the original viewer question, which is look, Kyler carries a huge load in their comms consistently. They're more so than any other team in the list, and he is hard carrying a lot of the small talk. If he were to lead the team and you bring in Paco, and Paco's comms, the one thing I give Paco credit for, and the reason that New York Subliners won champs, Paco's small talk is very good. He knows how to call his shot and set up his team to make the right play around him if he's going rogue on the map. The thing is, but I don't think he's going to sit there and come on the team and start calling out
no, he won't.
Their team is calling all the time. So they all need to do it, and at times those guys have struggled with that. So it's I don't think it is overblown. I worry, and I worry that those guys will have to step up and they may not be able to, and that's the risk that OpTic may take if they decide to move on from Kyler.
I agree with that, but not because
teams usually figure it out, but they might not be able to, and that might be ultimately where that roster change doesn't necessarily pan out for them.
I agree with you, but from a different angle, and I agree that it might not be better, but not because somebody's not going to step up in the comms of where people are coming from. I think it's from the way of okay, in between rounds with this LA Thieves team and Search, or in between maps, Paco's the vocal leader of what we have to do going into the map. In game, Paco's comms are more so of yo, do this for me so I can do this, right? That's kind of how Paco comms in game. You'd be hey, make sure we block this, and then he's active doing something. But that's also kind of how Shotzzy is. So I think the challenge if he was on that team would be kind of those two guys and their approach towards the game. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's a comms thing though. You know what I mean? I that's just kind of the way that I look at it. But Yeah, I guess we'll have to cross that bridge when it comes.
So Ant, one more quick point. Question for both of you, actually. How many of these finals do you think, if you swap out Kyler for Paco this year, how many of those finals, based on talent, does OpTic win?
I don't know. How many finals do they get to?
Finals?
How many finals do they get to? Because Kyler was frying on his way to the final, right?
Like based on his Sundays and stuff. Like how, like if you swap them out for those, like how many finals do they win? Do they win more?
I'm
than
actually
one?
just not even going to answer this because there's been multiple times where OpTic should have won a map and they've just blown it, and you can't blame that all on Hook. I'll be honest. Yeah.
So if, like I said, if they don't win this event and they drop them,
What about you, Ben? You want to answer that one before we move on?
Is talent enough? Is talent enough able to carry them?
That's we're gonna talk about this all off season. It's a great question, and I think it's gonna be a main talking point, especially after EWC, because like I don't know. Like they may take the risk because they may take the risk because like Paco and Ernie are like generational players, and like they may just say, well, to Ant's point, like we'll figure it out. We're an elite team. Every elite team figures it out.
But you think they could pick up Paco and Ernie, Ben? For who?
No, I think my guess is that if they pick up one of those, I think the only way Ernie would have joined this team is if one of their ARs just like retires, like Brandon calls it. But I don't
he's
think,
not calling.
I don't think he's not calling it. So I think the easiest move they'll make is drop Kyler and attempt to get Paco, and they're going to get in a protracted bidding war with probably, my guess is Falcons and Gentlemates for his services, and we'll see what happens.
My best guess is that Paco goes to Gentlemates, and now. I don't know. We're going to talk about this a lot. Let's pause on this one for now, because if OpTic win EWC, they're not changing.
It's a great question, and this in particular question is going to be something that.
Wait, is Simp free?
Ray Simp?
He's free, ain't he?
He's free. Not believe that Chris is not I do not believe that Chris is a free agent.
Oh, he's not?
I believe that Chris the Pimp Sim may be on FaZe next year.
Did that just happen? Might have just happened.
I don't know.
I don't know. Cause that'd be literally KD to the Warriors. Wow.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, FaZe are, regardless of Chris' situation, I think FaZe were always going to stick in for the most part, going into next season, just because they won chance. I don't think Chris would like leave on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they had to back the Brinks truck.
But like we'll talk about what FaZe is like. Let's say you win EWC or don't win in EWC. Do you upgrade or not? You know, like or do you stick? Like that will be a big question for them to talk about.
God, OpTic fans, like
I don't know.
OpTic fans, I know there was probably a lot of them sitting back like that would be godlike. Simps free.
but that's not. But I'm gonna put the kibosh on that. I'm gonna put the kibosh on that. I have a feeling FaZe. If Chris wants to FaZe, no. Hear me out.
Look at the chat. Look at the chat. You don't see the chat.
What does the chat say?
Oh, 04, he said, Ben still want me gone.
No, I don't want to drop 04, man. The one thing they can't do is drop 04. Nah, they shouldn't drop Twin, bro. Twin is, listen, I'll say this quickly about Twin. 04's growth this year, and I'll say 04's growth from last year as a player is tremendous. I think that, as you know, the role that he's in, the aggressive sub role, getting a premium player who consistently runs it down, regardless if they're going 20 or 40 or 40 and 20, makes the map so easy. You just can't let a player like that go. It's just what 04 does, and the space he creates on the map. And again, because sometimes he'll get kills, sometimes he don't get kills. The fact that he does that is like, I don't think they're gonna move on from that.
This is let's say this is our second stint glazing 04 on this episode. We Twins godlike.
Twin is a big reason why this team won champs, as is everybody on that team. And that's the thing they're gonna have to figure out is, yes, Paco and Ernie are out there. And you could have the argument, especially on the AR level, that maybe Scrap is better than Zach or better than Abuza, but like you just won. You have everything you want.
Oh.
Do you want to make the upgrade? Do you not? I just don't know in the room what they'll decide. But I think
let's be honest. Twin has been better than Paco this year.
Listen, I'm gonna put it.
What are we talking about?
I don't think 04 is getting dropped or moved on.
Hell no.
I think the conversation is more about Ernie, if anything, in that situation. And I just don't think they should make the move. Like I don't think I think what Zach brings, bro, both their ARs have been unbelievable at LAN this entire year.
Guys, the Twin has been better than Paco this year. He's been unbelievable. This guy has been popping takes since Major 2. I said it earlier. This guy is finding a shit ton of kills. Recency, bro, he's been frying since Major 2. He's finding a shit ton of kills, but not just kills. His value has been insane for this team.
They don't play the same role, though. 04 is a, like...
Not full of rubbish. Bro, facts, guys. Gotta watch the games, guys. Gotta watch the games.
Twin and Paco don't play the same way. Bro, the way that Twin plays, and you can attest to it, when you have a player like that on your team, and they're good at that role, it is like the world's biggest premium in the season.
Yes, it's like, unreal.
It just makes the game so much easier, even if that player is going 20.
It's 2021 Abizi, bro. That's like how he's playing, like legit. Like he's literally going crazy. Pop and takeover maps.
He runs down everything. Everything in him to run down, he runs down. And by the way, since him and Sim started playing together in fucking S&D, you saw what happened in Champs. Like, their S&D's back in form. So it's like, I don't listen. The whole point of this conversation is I don't think FaZe is going to make a change. I think the Paco is going to go to either Falcons, OpTic, or Falcons, OpTic, or Gentlemates, and I think that is a big open question. And I think the Ernie thing is I think he probably goes to either stays on Thieves, goes to Falcons, or goes to Gentlemates. That's how I think that whole thing's going to play out.
Yeah, I could see the Gentlemates. I could see them going as a package deal with like Sib and Joe for sure. I could definitely see that. Yeah, I mean, all depends on Falcons. Oh yeah, thank you for the question. Sorry, we're just ranting.
Yep. Appreciate. I was gonna rant. Thank you for the question. Also, shout out to the boy accident in fucking chat. That's Saud.
Yeah, notice he gave you 3 months. I don't even see a 1 month. Unbelievable, Saud. All right, let me get Poop Scoop in here. What's up, buddy?
Yo, how you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
This is maybe an off-season question, but as a viewer, I know none of us love online COD, but I've loved that they like changed the format of the online COD. It felt like every event. Do y'all think that's something they should stick to, where like each online qualifier it's different?
They are having with ownership now active conversations about potentially making the online format for next season. I don't know where they're going to decide. I think the conversations are very early. But if you remember, we had Daniel say on The Flank a few months ago, and Daniel on that show basically said, look, like we want more of the online competition to matter. We love what the minors are, but we want to see if we can get that level of intensity more often. And that's really the crux of the conversation that they're kind of talking about. Like, how do we have less, and no disrespect, but like less Vancouver versus Carolina and more FaZe.
We just need primetime games. Point blank. Schedule makers gotta cook. But yeah, I agree with you. I think we need some more like variation. I liked when everybody played everybody. The minors were actually a lot of fun this year. So maybe some stakes a little bit more other than just seed. Obviously would help a bit. And just whatever they could do to make these matches just mean a little bit more. You know, I think, you know, on the golf course, Ben, we talked a little bit about this. Like the matches, like when we would see the Surge versus Boston matches, like those matches, like if you're going to watch those teams, like they're pretty good, right? It's just when you get the like OpTics versus Boston or OpTic versus C9 where you're like, all right, what the hell's going on? So I just think we need.
Are those matches good? Because
they were more entertaining for sure. Yeah. I just think we need to have primetime games for sure. So people know, like, I'm tuning in at 7 p.m. on a Saturday. It's a banger match. We can't have the banger match be C9 versus the Gentlemates. That's probably a bad example, but you guys get where I'm going with that.
It comes down to this, bro. Like, and this is no disrespect to the bottom tier owners, but what carries this esport is the top teams playing each other.
No, I said towards the end, it was fun, chat.
And then one of the bottom teams, when they make a promising squad, being the underdog against those other teams. And we need to see less of like trying to make every owner happy by giving them the same number of matches online, because they want, like, it doesn't make sense for the economics of the league. And going about it the other way will raise all tides, because it's going to get brands and partners more interested, because they know there'll be more eyeballs on the online matches when the good teams are playing. So that's I think that the discussion is like, how do you find the balance and not super fucking over your Bostons and your C9s by totally cutting the amount of online games. We need to see more Saturday and Sunday matches that matter.
Yes.
The teams we want to see play more.
Yes. Primetime matches. We need primetime day match. They need to figure that out. Schedule maker is going to have to cook.
Well, it's not. It's you're saying when you mean primetime matches, you mean good teams versus good teams. You're not saying like at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Good teams versus good teams. People know Saturday is going to be top seeds playing each other. Isn't there, Joe mentioned it, is there like an esport that does that where they separate like the top teams into a group, bad teams in the group, and they have some formula like seeds them at the end? I think I don't know, maybe it was League that does that, or is it CS? Like entertaining something like that, Zoltz, is like maybe where COD needs to go. You can't like fuck over those teams though. So yeah, I don't know.
They should just flex the matches. Like if they like make the schedule, like move the FaZe Thieves match from like 3 p.m. to the last game, so people actually tune in.
Listen, we're not going to decide this, but they're working on that, I think.
Yeah, no, that's been discussed, and part of the problem is then like the other team doesn't want to get their match moved. Look, at the end of the day, I think their online format's gonna be a little bit different next season. I think that they'll have a more defined preseason this year, just with the game coming out earlier. They have more of a window to make like end of October, November be like something more expanded than what they did last year, leading into like the season really starting in December. So that'll be a W. But like I think we'll see more of the minor style stuff and like less of just 2K's online matches. I want to see more Pro-Am stuff. I don't know if we'll get that, but we'll see more OpTic versus Thieves, Thieves versus FaZe, General Mates versus Toronto, like the real creme de la creme of the matches in the sport.
All right, well, let's move on because we got to rip through some of these questions. So, hey, thank you for that.
I got like 20 more minutes, and then we can.
All right. Yeah, so we're gonna, guys, all these format and stuff like that. You could ask these questions today, but we're gonna dive like way deeper into them in the off season. We have our special edition episodes, and we intend to hopefully get some guests on. I would like to bring in some of the challenger players that are like next up and just kind of talk to them a little bit. But Turtle, what's up, dude? How we doing?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good. Welcome.
First off, LeBron to the Sixers. Let's go. Let's win the title.
Yeah, it's been a nice year for New York. Now it's over with.
I hate LeBron.
The Knicks, man. enjoy the 12 games that team plays together when Embiid gets another fucking injury.
They'll get 15. Give them 15.
You like 15 games together.
15. Real quick. With all the PC issues, I've seen a lot of people saying console. Do you think the league would ever go back to console, and should they go back to console?
Whoa.
I think they will do it if Microsoft is willing to pitch money.
Yep. That's what I was gonna say.
Like the league. It becomes basically like a bit of an internal mathematical like financial little like mumbo jumbo game inside of Microsoft.
Just partner with the league. Like we used to be partnered with Sony back in the day. Like
it will be cheaper in a couple of different ways.
A lot cheaper.
One is like there's less stuff they need to maintain. You don't really need to IT check every PC before every series because it's closed hardware and there's alerts and there's already backend stuff on that. The shipping costs on the Xboxes is way cheaper. You can fit them way easier in a case than you.
There's just less issues. Like, everybody's aware of how much easier.
Fresh on them, it's not as bad. Fixing them, you're just swapping it out. You know, and signing a new.
The updates do take significantly longer though, which is kind of hell for Cole.
They figured it out on LAN the way they have ways to do it on LAN where they mass update the consoles. Like it's not.
Yeah, it's not hard to do.
And also like knowing EFG, they got a big warehouse now. Like they can also update them prior to the events. In a hypothetical, it would make a lot of sense. I don't think the league is going to go out and just buy 5,000 Xboxes. You know what I'm saying? It would have to be a deal, especially with the new Xbox coming down the line here soon, of Microsoft sponsoring the league via Xbox. And then there's a, you know what I'm saying, bit of money and hardware moving around.
Yeah, I imagine that's something if the players want, something the league would love to do is partner. I mean, they kind of own everything already, so that makes it kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know how that would go down.
Players would go for it. I think
dropping
frames really because they're so used to higher frames now.
Yeah, I don't know if all the players want it. I mean, the rumors that they would prefer. I heard Damon say something about it. If that's what the players want, and the league can get a deal done, I mean, that would be a W, right? Partner with Xbox.
Yeah.
Like I said back in the day, we were partnering with Sony, right? That's when we switched to PlayStation. It was fantastic.
First year the league was on console.
Yeah, for sure the league was on console.
Yep.
I mean, I think part of the problem with switching to console, it's not a big problem, is that we are at the tail end of this current generation of consoles. So let's say we switch to, an Xbox Series X. Like, we're gonna be on a new Xbox. When is the new Xbox supposed to come out? Like 2028, I think.
I don't know.
Or supposedly next year. We're gonna get to a point where it's like there's a gap here with the console thing. So
Yeah.
Not sure what happens.
Just in time for expansion. 16 teams.
Yeah. All right, Turtle. Thank you, bro.
Great question.
All right,
For what it's worth, I just don't think that'll happen.
You know what my prediction is, by the way?
What's up?
My prediction is that they go half and half for year one, which is that the pro scene is still played on PC, but amateur is all played on Xbox. Or PC if you're home. Like, it's cross-platform, but when you go to the event, you play on Xbox. Xbox sponsors,
I don't know about that one.
What is basically what Halo did.
Going from PC to Xbox, that's a sharp difference, dog.
No, well, no, but I'm just saying this is what Xbox did for the early years of Halo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if that was the case, our pro teams would just all buy their Xboxes at home and just play on Xbox.
No, but I'm saying no, you're not hearing me out. On LAN and in office, pros are all PC only. The competitive scene open is cross-platform online. Then when you go to events, it's Xbox.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense.
Sure.
So you get Xbox with sponsored challengers, and then when the new console comes out, then everybody's on it because Microsoft's going to want to push the new hardware at that point. So
I'll tell you one thing. I'm gonna be on PC. I mean that 1440 and all the frames that I get.
The limit right now on Xbox is 120. Obviously, the new gen will probably support 240 and higher. So we'll see.
All right. So what's this guy want? What's up, buddy?
Big Net here. A hot take. Team War is gonna shit on OpTic. Dimension dropping to 1.5.
Based on what?
I got a feeling, man.
Got a feeling? You should put that in a parlay.
Yeah, I will.
What are the odds on Team War versus OpTic on the websites?
Probably a lot to a little.
Yeah, that is delusion
at
its finest. Who are you a fan of NFL wise again? This guy's in our Madden League chat, by the way.
The Patriots.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you probably think Drake May is going to be MVP again too.
Yeah, he's a GOAT.
You're going to try be in the MVP race again too. He will not be. GOAT. That guy. I don't know, man. I don't know if you watched him in the playoffs, but yeah, him and CJ Stroud, both dog shit. All right, bro.
All right. Dimensions. Go. Keep note of that.
Delusional Pats fan. Bring him back.
We'll keep note. I tried to find earlier this week if any books are doing odds for EWC, and I couldn't find them. But my guess is OpTic would be like.
They're not like Polymarket. Hey, Saud, welcome back, welcome for 3 months. Let's go, Saud.
Wow,
You're a freaking
3 months
beast, kid.
Saud, bro.
Kid's a freaking beast, dude. We gave you some gas earlier, dude, and your squad.
We did give some good gas. I think OpTic. I mean, listen, Dimensions and Vic's obviously playing pretty good, and obviously so is Icons, but I think OpTic win that.
Yeah,
they might drop a map. They drop like maybe one map.
Listen, if they win that, then Big Net's coming back on here, and we're gonna give him some gas. All right, let's get Zoltz in here, and we'll end it with
Big Net's decent on clubs. I will get Big Net gas. Clubs
What's up, Zoltz? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Y'all see Chris Olave just got the bag?
No, just now.
No, I did not. But that's certainly. I mean, I guess, yeah.
4 years, 130 million. But that's not the question.
If he's not concussed, he's definitely good.
Yeah.
As a quarterback, they'll throw him like decent balls, but sure.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
All right, it's just a simple question.
What's up?
Just think of throw out all the accolades and shit. Just think of pure talent and ceiling. What duo would be better? Shotzi and Paco, or Joe DeCeves and Paco next year?
Yeah, I mean, I probably go if we're just talking about pure talent.
Pure talent. Just think of the ceiling of those two together. Shotzi and Paco, or Joe DeCeves and Paco.
But we're not. This is what. Hold on. There's a problem with this question. We're not even thinking about like fit on the map. You're just saying pure talent.
Well, obviously,
Matt-
fit on the map that goes in with it.
I mean, it's
I'd
like,
just throw out the
bro, it's
accolades.
pretty. Is Paco on both those teams? You said Paco, so Paco's constant.
I mean, well, because it's like everybody's bitching about who can shit. So it's like, and I think it's pretty much confirmed. Hydra's going to Gentlemates.
I don't think I think this season Joe's been better than Shotzi. I don't think
Joe's been better than both.
I don't think Joe is better than Shotzi overall, like game to game. But I would say it's different play styles, and I think Joe and Paco would work better together than Paco and Shotzi because contrary to what people think, Paco can play this way, but I don't view him as a run it down sub. Like,
no, I don't.
And neither is Ant.
And
I would say that Joe's play style is like closer to Scumps than it is O4's. Would you say that for Joe? He's definitely more of a pre-aim sub than like an off the hip.
But he's still a run. I see where you're going with that, but he's still a run it down. He's still a run it down,
but he's so good with his timings that like he's a very good L trigger sub because he's getting your spots quicker than you are.
Yeah.
So Joe's a dirty sub too. He does all the objective shit too.
Yeah,
Joe is very talented, but I think Ant and Paco could figure it out. I don't think it wouldn't work. Just like Abe and Paco figured it out, I think Ant and Paco could figure it out. It's just like
there's no talent gap.
One of them's gonna. It is. I think it will probably be on Ant to probably adjust to Paco and just sometimes.
Joe was extremely good last year too.
Fill the lane and see what happens.
Oh, Joe's been really good for a couple of years now. I mean, really, since he came back from Challengers onto that Thieves team, he's been good. Yeah, it's just different play styles, bro. I would Joe's closer to 04 than he is to those two. Like, Joe's better than Twin right now. Sorry, Twin, if you're still in here. But like,
not better than Shotzi.
But like
year.
that play style is.
Joe, you don't think Joe's been better than
Shotzi?
Yeah, Joe's been better than Shotzi this year. Yeah,
I'm reading the chat. It was fucking.
Okay.
Well, I think if you ask the pros, I think if they were to rank players, I think they would put Joe over Ant this year. And someone said Joe only had one good year. That's how I know you don't watch because even Joe's first year was a wash because he's on that dog shit chalked LEG team.
Also
bro,
rookie year, so it's like
he was good on fucking Thieves.
He was that really good.
Bro, we're talking about EWC. Do people remember how you played at the first EWC?
That team was gross too. Yeah, I mean, dude, the question you're asking is like, we can't really go wrong, bro. Like,
of course not. But like, if you think of like the best duos of all time, do you think Paco and Shotzi would be a better duo all time, or Paco and Joe Deceives?
Yeah, I think they'd have to work towards it, the Paco and Shotzi. But I think initially Joe and Paco would probably work together off the rip better. Yeah.
You're asking the key question that I believe Paco will probably be asking himself is roster mania, which is what is my better chance of winning? Because I have a feeling Gentlemates and OpTic will probably offer him pretty much the same amount of money and probably the same incentives. It's going to come down to.
You don't think Mates will go like above everything else to get Paco?
Here's how I would tell you to think about the financials of the league. Falcons above everybody else. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah. Falcons have the biggest unlimited bag of anybody, bro. But the other orgs are rich. OpTic, FaZe, Thieves, if they have Matt pitch in, for example, and other people, and Gentlemates all can probably match each other in the hypothetical. So the money will be close between those. It just comes down to like, what do you want if you're Paco?
You know what I'm thinking about right now? I'm just thinking about all the times I've talked to Paco this year, like in post-game interviews, especially they're struggling earlier in the year. For those of you who are like very tapped in, there's like at least 3 or 4 times on the show or in interviews or just like on a stream where he's been talking about how he's just trying to take like a back seat for Abizi for him to get comfortable. And like, I know we keep wording this from the viewpoint of like Shotzi would have to adjust when it might be the other way around. And I think this year has probably been a great lesson for Paco in that, like, trying to help his teammates improving it better. And he did a great job doing it. Obviously the meta helped and the roster change, but I don't know, man. It's just, we'd have to see it. But I don't think Paco's unwilling to like work around and take a back seat to Ant. Just based on what I've heard from him earlier in the year, multiple times. So yeah, I think it could work. Either one could work and you can't go wrong. But yeah, there's that.
It's going to be the big question is roster mania, and I think one that we will dive into in the coming episodes.
All right, Zoltz.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good question. Because you guys are asking your roster mania questions are you guys are asking the questions, which I like.
Yeah.
You guys have zeroed in on the what are the key talking points that are going to describe how starting on August 10th, shit is gonna break down in the scene
immediately too. These guys are gonna be outside the Eiffel Tower, like, dog, we would fry together.
It's gonna be like last time I was EWC. I was getting roster intel while online with Riyadh Airlines.
Yeah.
Like waiting to get my tickets for my flight out of the venue. People are already. But I think this roster mania will be a bit of a slower burn because of the initial dominoes with some of those players. I think Paco in particular will not rush into this decision.
Oh yeah, and just how I know he's got a good agent. How he's gonna do things. I mean, he has a lot of power. That guy has a lot of power coming into this offseason. All right, let's get the mainstay back. Made it all the way to the end. You made it here. You are a real one, by the way. We appreciate you. And he's here, Mr. Frankie Mojo.
How we doing?
An absolute legend here on the CODCAST. What's up, brother?
It's been a long time. I apologize for being gone for so long. I've been a busy boy.
We saved the best for last, dude.
So I'll do two questions. First one's just very, very quick. Would you guys be surprised if OpTic doesn't make a change?
No.
Right. Okay. That's the first one. I figured. Right. I don't think anyone would really be surprised. The second one is a lot more interesting. So let's take a player like Caesar for this hypothetical, right? He's a guy that loves to do labs. He loves finding these really creative nade spots and stuff like that. Let's say he gets eliminated from the tournament early on at like Champs or EWC, a big one, an important one, right? Is it normal in the pro scene for pros like Caesar that do labbing and stuff, if they get eliminated early, to then go to their friends on a different team and share all the information that they weren't able to use in the tournament because they were eliminated early?
I mean, that is a good question, and it has happened in the past when I was playing.
Do you have any examples?
Well, I don't think you and I want to out. I mean, I know for a fact this happens, but if we want to, I don't necessarily want to out people that do it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, like, this happens in pro sports too. Fucking professional players talk about this all the time in pro sports. Friends talk to friends. They share information. Like, there's some stuff that's team specific stuff that you're not going to tell your boys because it's the stuff that gets you to win the ultimate ring at the end. But like, you know, people share stuff.
Yes,
it happens.
Yes, people share stuff.
Back in the day, from like the Jetpack days or the Black Ops 2 Ghost days, anything like that?
Yeah. Like I remember in Ghost, like the steady aim one early on in regionals, or like the week leading up to it. Like not everybody was running it, and I remember Nato telling me and my team like, yo, everybody should start running that going into the champs. I actually personally never ran it. And then it ended up spreading in the week leading up to regionals. But yeah, there's been like little things like players get knocked out and you go and you tell the team their tendency. Like whenever me and Haggy were on different teams, we were close friends. It'd be like that. Same thing with Jay. You talk to them and you go, yo, what you saw, what you experienced, what they did, you kind of talk to them about it and just give them pointers. It's not uncommon. It probably happens every single tournament. And yeah, I mean, even like late night TeamSpeak calls, like, bro, you just talk about other teams, like how your match went, what you guys did right or wrong. Like, it's just natural discussion. Yeah. But in terms of like, in terms of like the secret spots and the secret sauce like that, I don't know. I don't have any like direct memories of that.
I think most people are smart enough to like they'll help their friends with opposition research, but like they're not gonna spill the like.
Well, that's why I'm asking, like, I was going to ask this before champs specifically, but I wasn't able to. That's why I'm saying, like, in the very specific case where a player is already eliminated from the tournament and they have no reason to keep it anymore, do they then go to a friend on a different team and share that stuff?
No, it's more so one of those things of like, okay, I was a scrim partner of OpTic. They have no official matches on Gridlock Search. I'm out of the tournament and I'm boys with, Scrap. I might go tell Scrap like, yo, this gridlock, we scrimmed them a lot. This is what they were doing, right? Like that's kind of how it goes.
So players like Caesar Free, I'm just using him for example because he loves nade spots. He like that information just dies with him then essentially.
No, other people know. It's not like he's just finding it by himself. His teammates surely know, right?
Okay. Well, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that's. I was just curious about that heading into EWC because that's an interesting dynamic.
It's not as impactful as you think, but players share stuff for sure.
Yeah.
All right, bet.
All right. Thanks, Frankie.
All right, man. See you next time. I hope.
Yep. I wish somebody told me about Clayster using Danger Close in AW. That would have been nice.
Yeah, they definitely, the whole team definitely maybe Danger Cluster ways to solid ring out of the four of them.
Yeah. If you ask Attach about, I was joking with Attach at Champs about it, and he just smiles. He goes, "Yeah, man, we were nice." But all right, that'll do it, Ben. Thank you, man. Great episode once again. It was just the duo today. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
2 hours and 20 minutes. Wow.
I think the plan for us is probably post EWC. I think we'll probably be smart. We probably will do it later on in the week when we get back from EWC because our expectation is like roster mania stuff usually starts to get out on Wednesday into Thursday.
Yeah.
So probably Thursday-ish. We'll see if we can ramble. Yeah, Ray's obviously not here because he's on vacation or some shit. And we'll dive into whatever the rumors are at the time.
We could also run a post and then we could run like maybe a week or two after like a WrestleMania one.
I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, we'll definitely do a post WC, but like, I don't think like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not going to, the season's over at that point. You know
we don't have to recap every
like,
match.
oh, yeah, we'll be like, this team sucked and then they're blowing it up. Like, we'll use it in the context of like the WrestleMania until at that point, I assume is how we'll do it. But
well, maybe we bring a winner on. Maybe we bring a winner on or something, right? And talk to them. Like, we'll see. We'll make a good show post EWC. Don't worry about that. That's going to be our final episode of the season, so it's gonna be a banger. But like Ben said, we'll do some WrestleMania shit. That's where we're really getting the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're out.
It was a pleasure, Ant.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. We're gonna see Spider-Man in a bit.
Yeah, I'll see you in a few hours. The movie theater.
Yes, sir. Enjoy the sushi. I think you guys are going to get some food, right?
We might get sushi. We'll see. Adam's time torching, so it might be. We got to make the movie. I can get sushi another day. I can't miss Spider-Man, so we might have to go to Chick-fil-A or something. Who knows?
It was a good move by Ben. He found the tech. It was sold out everywhere, and he found a laser projection theater that has it. Guys, a G. All right, guys. Appreciate you very much. Leave a like, comment, and we'll catch you guys in the next one after EWC. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Banger episode, Ben. Banger.
Banger. I agree. Let me find my.
Peace, chat. He said.